Chapter 2635. Big Boss, it's your turn. Chapter 2635. Big Boss, it's your turn. Ding. Target locked. The corner of Long Fei's mouth lifted slightly. He looked at the purple-black underworld fire on his palm, then looked at Sky Envoy, and said, "You think you can see through me? Who am I? How can you see through me? So what if you're a Sky Envoy?" Did he really think he was some kind of god? "You are not the God's Tribe's patrolling dog. What do you represent? You don't mean anything," Long Fei said coldly. At the same time, this was also a form of psychological warfare. Long Fei was secretly shocked in his heart. The underworld fire's cooldown for the first and second time was only 150 seconds. It could be said to be over very quickly, but the third cooldown required 2 hours. Just as the Sky Envoy had said, with his cultivation level, he would not be able to keep up with the power of the underworld fire. Even if he could release it, his body wouldn't be able to withstand it. This was the limitation of the laws of the plane. The center of Sky Envoy's brows tightened. He did not expect Long Fei to release his underworld fire once again, and said in surprise, "Seems like I underestimated you. With your cultivation, you are actually able to activate the ancient inheritance's power 2 times in a row. That's all." Sky Envoy laughed coldly. He was the descendant of God's tribe, and more or less he was more or less clear on the fact that the God's tribe controlled 99% of the ancient inheritance's power. The more powerful the ancient inheritance, the more powerful the body and power needed to be to release. What power did Long Fei grasp? The power of the Ming clan's ancient inheritance. Amongst the many powers of the ancient inheritance, it was an upper-level ancient inheritance and could be said to be a match for the Emperor Xian. This kind of power requires a strong physical body to release. The Zhenwu continent was only a lower realm. So no matter how strong the body of the warriors in this kind of realm was, they wouldn't be strong. His physical body had already reached its limit, and he wouldn't be able to withstand any more power for a short period of time. Long Fei smiled faintly and said, "See through everything? Ha ha ha. Since you are so awesome, why did you let that damn eunuch become your cannon fodder? You're so awesome. Why didn't you do it yourself? Because you're afraid. Just now I was scared to the point of peeing by the black dragon. This time I'm going to scare your *T out. Watch carefully. I'll let you know what the infinite ancient inheritance power is." Boom. The underworld fire moved, locking onto its target. He immediately released it. He had originally wanted to lock onto the Sky Envoy, because this guy was the strongest boss, but it seemed like he knew everything about himself. The power of the ancient inheritance. Long Fei didn't even know what it was. He simply did not know what the power of the ancient inheritance was. He only knew that the Ming clan imprint on his left arm contained an incomparably powerful power. Boom! The underworld fire moved. Zhao Chongshan's body inexplicably burned up. At this moment, the power within his body was frantically shrinking and was crazily being devoured by the underworld fire. Zhao Chongshan's face turned white and anxiously said, "Master, save me! Master, save me! Quickly, quickly save me!" Sky Envoy's eyes were cold. Just like before, he did not have the slightest intention to kill Zhao Chongshan. In his eyes, Zhao Chongshan and Xian Ming Master were the same type of insignificant people. It had nothing to do with him. Save me. Hurry up and save me. Zhao Chongshan wailed miserably, all the energy in his body disappearing crazily. Just now, he watched as Xian Ming Master rolled on the ground in pain, and he couldn't feel it at all. Now he knew what this pain was. His mind was burning. His sea of consciousness was burning. Every organ in his body was burning. Moreover, it was an indestructible flame that he could not defend against with any of his strength. It was too hard to bear. Zhao Chongshan bellowed. Kill him, kill him. He can't release the power of the ancient inheritance anymore. Quickly kill him. Long Fei laughed coldly and said, If you don't want to die, then come. The aura emanating from his body instantly overwhelmed everything else around him. Sky Envoy coldly snorted and said, Everyone attack together. Zhao Chongshan had already been burnt by the underworld fire, and his words were useless, but Sky Envoy's words were different. Moreover, in that second, Sky Envoy's voice suddenly became gloomy. Go! Boom! It directly destroyed the overwhelming aura on Long Fei's body, and all of the 100 powerhouse-s of the Zhen Wu realm pounced towards Long Fei. Yurong released his powerful energy. Long Fei's gaze tightened, and said coldly, giving out experience, I will accept them all. Just as the sky sword fell, Long Fei wanted to start a massacre. Rumble! A thick, burning staff fell from the sky, heavily smashing into the ground. The ground cracked, and cracks began to burn. Shwa! An enormous body descended with 3 heads and 6 arms. Its body was emitting an incomparably dense aura. His entire body was like a Sun Wukong possessed by the devil. The staff moved and swept in half a circle as he shouted in a domineering tone, Whoever it is, come up and give it a try. I'll kill you. Kong Kim arrived. It was also at this time. Shwa, Kai Lina landed. Shwa, Tang Renjia landed. Shwa, Xiao Dai, Thin Monkey, Big Owl, and the others also descended. Next, the 17 sons of the demon emperors had also descended. Ha ha ha. They're all here. We can't wait for your order. We're coming ourselves. Gui Qingshan spoke out heavily, and then landed on the plaza outside of Great Hall. 100s of the Zhen Wu realm all descended. Their lineup was too powerful. The Zhao family has many people. There are many powerhouse in the Zhen Wu realm, but there were even more powerhouse on Long Fei's side. All of them were powerhouse of the Zhen Wu realm, especially the group that Gui Qingshan had brought in. All of them were wearing black robes. The fierce ones. This was truly an impressive stroke. They were all standing behind Long Fei, crushing the entire Great Hall. The people of 10 families were stupefied and lowered their heads, not daring to look at Long Fei. Zhou Yaozong's gaze also tensed up, his teeth chattering loudly. No one would have thought that there would be so many Zhen Wu realm powerhouse-s appearing overnight. All here. Long Fei slightly smiled, looked at Sky Envoy, and said, Is your scalp going numb? The space between Sky Envoy's eyebrows tightened. At this time, Zhao Wuji was covered in blood, leading the Zhao family guards over. Seeing Zhao Chongshan's body wither from the fire, and then, looking at Long Fei, he howled loudly, Kill him! However, no one dared to step forward. Zhao Chongshan staggered to Long Fei's side and said, Spare me, spare me! Long Fei stomped his foot on the ground. Boom! The last bit of HP disappeared as Zhao Chongshan died. Long Fei raised his finger, pointed at the Sky Envoy on the stairs, and smiled. Big boss, it's your turn. Chapter 5. Thank you for your support. Tonight at 8:00 p.m., I'll be waiting for you guys at Q. Welcome, bro. There's a red packet. Chapter 2636. The entire city is alien. Chapter 2636. The entire city is alien. Long Fei pointed at the Sky Envoy in the distance. It's your turn. The entire audience was stunned. Even Lu Xian and the others were slightly startled. Do they also want to kill the Sky Envoy? Aren't you being a little too arrogant? The 3-headed, 6-armed Transformers was eager to see the world in chaos. With a face full of excitement, he moved the staff in his hand and said with a grin, Did you hear that? It's your turn. It was incomparably domineering. Tang Renjia also had an excited smile on his face. Good job. This time, I should at least feel good about it. The 17 sons of demon emperors did not have any expression on their faces, but they were serious. They had come for Long Fei. The demon emperor was also on his way here, so what they needed to do before Master appeared was to protect Long Fei. Sky Envoy laughed coldly. With a face full of disdain, he said scornfully, "Kill me? Ha ha!" From the very beginning, he had never placed anyone in the Zhanwu continent in his eyes, be it Zhao Chongshan or the Xian Ming master that was a descendant of the Ming clan. Both of them had faces of disdain, because they were not at a sufficiently high level to stand together with him, because this was the weakest plane of the lower realms. With just a finger, he could crush a so-called Emperor Zhanwu powerhouse to death. Indeed, he was frightened by the Black Dragon just now. However, it was the Black Dragon, a person who did not belong to the Zhanwu continent. Furthermore, the moment the Black Dragon disappeared, he clearly felt his body being heavily suppressed. There was definitely an elder in the god's tribe palace who was reactivating the seal, the Black Dragon. With the disappearance of the Black Dragon, no one in the world could stop him. He was God. It was the heavens. Therefore, he was extremely disdainful, even contemptuous. It was also at this time the man from the 10 families walked out and said solemnly, "Brat, you dare to touch the Sky Envoy. You are really tired of living. My Li family is the first to refuse to accept this. Let's see how long you can stay arrogant for." Li family disciples, listen up. Fight. Ha! In an instant, all the Li family disciples rushed out, blocking in front of Sky Envoy. Disciples of the Lu family, listen up. Fight. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Asterisk, whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Asterisk, he also rushed out. Lin family disciples, listen up. Fight. Hong family's disciples, listen up. Fight. The people of the divine capital's 10 families all rushed out, blocking his path to the front. The Tongshan laughed sinisterly. Zhao Haoqian is dead. Now, as long as I kill those two, I will become the top scholar for the God's sect gathering, and I will be the #1 genius. I will be brought into the universal realm by the Lord Sky Envoy. His mind stirred. The Tongshan said with a heavy voice, "Long Fei, who do you think you are? To dare to challenge Lord Sky Envoy. This old man will be the first one to refuse to accept this. Where are the disciples of Sect of Infinitas? Fight." Boom! Infinite Ancestor was killed by Long Fei. The #1 genius of the Sect of Infinitas, the Tongshan, had almost been stomped out of his SHXD by Long Fei. It could be said that every disciple and elder of the Sect of Infinitas were existences that were extremely hated by Long Fei. Following Tongshan's command, all of the Sect of Infinitas' disciples and elders inside and outside the hall rushed out in unison. Now, only the Zhou family was left. Zhou Yaozong secretly thought between his brows. His brain was currently working like a computer right now, so he had to think carefully. His decision would affect the future of the Zhou family. Zhao Haoqian is dead. Zhao Chongshan is dead. It can be said that half of the Zhao family has collapsed. 10 families is just a mob. As for Zhao Wuji, he is also heavily injured and is basically unable to command the 100 Zhenwu realm S. If Zhou Yaozong quickly analyzed. At this time, a disciple of the Zhao family asked, "Patriarch, what should we do?" Zhou Yaozong stood up, walked out in large strides, and shouted loudly, "Long Fei, you have to be arrogant to a certain extent. You have already killed so many people, and you still want to make a move on Lord Sky Envoy?" Boom! Zhou Yaozong's figure landed, and he immediately stood at the very front of the group. She stared straight at Long Fei, her eyes filled with killing intent. As long as they could defeat Long Fei's group, he would become the final winner, because His Zhou family still had a master that could suppress everything. The Zhou family was about to ascend the throne, as long as he could defeat Long Fei. Long Fei grinned and said, "Damn, each and every one of you show your loyalty. That's great. I have no intention of letting you off. Let go? Non-existent." Long Fei still required more than 30 billion experience to be able to level up to the Emperor Zhenwu's realm, and he would truly need to step into the peak of perfection. Upgrade. Long Fei liked it too much. With so much experience, how could he let it go? He thought it was too little. Zhou Yaozong laughed coldly. "Spare us? Just with your motley crew? You think you can win? To tell you the truth, the entire god is now under my control. The million-strong army is already outside the palace. As long as I give the order, no matter how strong you are, you won't be able to stop the million lion." Zhou Yaozong was very pleased with himself. As soon as he finished, Zhao Wuji's eyes tensed up, and he couldn't help but clench his fists. In his heart, he cursed Zhou Yaozong for his 18 generations of ancestors, but on the surface, he didn't dare show it. The Zhao family no longer had any cards left to play. If not for Sky Envoy holding the scene, the 100 Zhenwu realm powerhouse, as raised by the Zhao family, would have left long ago. Zhou Yaozong's move was to make his Zhao family the same as the former Wei family. A million-strong army. Wow, I'm so scared. Long Fei pretended to be afraid. Guwei Qingshan slightly said, "Long Fei, the million-strong army of the Zhou family has indeed entered the capital. It's going to be very troublesome." The Zhenwu realm was indeed impressive. He could fight 100, 1,000, but what about 10,000? What about 100,000? What about a million-strong army? Just like an ant nibbling on an elephant. The ants were weak, but they were large enough to eat elephants. Long Fei waved his hand. "Don't worry. Isn't it just a million-strong army?" Completely disdainful. However, Zhou Yaozong said with a sneer, "You ignorant fool, my Zhou's army's million-strong army all possesses the cultivation of the Golden Protector level. How are you going to block this?" Long Fei's mouth hooked up and said, "You'll know soon." In an instant, screams could be heard continuously from outside the palace. It was like hell on earth. Before anyone could react, half the sky had been dyed blood red. The entire moat was filled with blood. Long Fei smiled and said, "Did you hear that?" A guard rushed over in a hurry. His entire body was covered in blood, and his eyes were unfocused as he said, Sir, the demon beast. We have never seen dark demon beast before. There are too many of them, covering the entire sky." The expression in Zhou Yaozong's eyes changed. The alien army had arrived in the midst of a truly crazed massacre. "Warrior in the Elixir realm are awesome? Are you even going to talk about my alien army?" Long Fei laughed. "How is Zhou Yaozong? Is that good enough?" Chapter 2637. Zhao Chongshan finally explodes. Chapter 2637. Zhao Chongshan finally explodes. Blood flowed like a river, making it impossible for him to stop it. The million-strong army was a very important card in Zhou Yaozong's hand, but now he was killed right after coming out. Moreover, at this time, the notification sound in Long Fei's mind exploded. Ding, ding, ding. Ding, ding, ding. Ding, ding, ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing Elixir Warrior, for obtaining 10 experience, true chi points x1, and arrogant god energy value x1. Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing Elixir Warrior, for obtaining 10 experience, true chi points x1, and arrogant god energy value x1. Congratulations, player. He couldn't stop it at all. His eardrums were about to burst. This voice, it was like thousands of families setting off firecrackers over the new year. It was completely deafening. However, Long Fei was also waiting, because Xiao Chongshan had not exploded yet. The system beep had yet to ring. Waiting. When Zhou Yaozong heard the report, his expression darkened, and he pushed him away. Impossible. My Zhou family's million lions are unstoppable. Even a powerhouse of the true martial emperor would not be able to defeat them in such a short amount of time. What's more, Zhou Yaozong looked at Long Fei and said, all of your forces are here. There can't be anyone else. Even if the Xianyu sect and the magic tribe army combined all of them, they still wouldn't be a match for my Zhou family's million lions. Indeed, the Zhou family army was extraordinary. It could be said that in the Zhan Wu continent, it was the most valiant army. However, no matter how strong he was, no matter how courageous he was in battle, it was useless. Because the aliens' army is not human, they will not tell you any tactics, only a command in their head: charge, kill. No matter what tactics you have, no matter how many people you have, the alien would not care about that. Long Fei smiled blandly. Million-strong masters. Now, let's see how much you have left. Zhou family. From now on, the Zhan Wu continent no longer has an army like the Zhou's army. Long Fei sneered, his gaze sweeping past Zhou Yaozong and the people from the 10 families behind him, coldly laughed, and said, this is the result of going against me. First your Zhou's army. Then there's your 10 families. You besieged me in the sky sect of Ling clan yesterday. Today, I will turn over your ancestors' graves. And then, the idea moved. Several million aliens quickly separated into several small teams and rushed out like a tide. 10 families' courtyard was immediately occupied by her. And then, another massacre. 10 families? In less than half an hour, all of them would disappear from God Capital. From the day before, when they surrounded and attacked him in the sky sect of Ling clan, Long Fei had already thought of something. The alien was summoned to kill. Although 10 families was not as experienced as the Zhou family, but he still had meat on his legs. For the sake of the Emperor Zhen Wu's realm, he did not care at all. None of those who deserved to be killed were spared. The most crucial point, he needed experience right now. He needed it very much. He needed to level up. I need to level up as soon as possible, because until now, his health point was still only slightly over 10,000. No matter how much the spring of life recovered, it was useless, and he could not recover completely. Over 10,000 points of health point. It was not enough for Sky Envoy. An instant kill. At least, Long Fei had to endure through the first strike. If he could not even withstand the first strike, he would have no hope at all. Chief, it's bad. Everyone in the family is dead. This is bad. Not good. Something big has happened. All of the clan members of the clan head have all died. All dead. All dead. Not long after, the 10 families' spies ran over and quickly reported everything. The patriarchs of the 10 families and the disciples were all stupefied. Impossible. How could this be? Who dares to touch us, the people of 10 families? Long Fei grinned and said, I dare. I killed him. How is it? Is it good? You surrounded and attacked me yesterday. Today, I'll make all of you kneel on the ground and not get up. How about it? This must be great. Long Fei laughed coldly. The system beep went berserk. It couldn't be stopped at all. The alien army was simply too arrogant. It was as if he was crushing everything in his path. Furthermore, they had completely followed Long Fei's orders, acted against Zhou's army, acted against 10 families, and acted against them. They definitely did not harm any unrelated people in God Capital, and none of the commoners were injured. Inside the God Capital, everyone was standing on the streets, looking in the direction of the nobles, watching the alien that was continuously rushing into the city. These people were all dumbstruck. What happened? Look, the sky is already dyed red. What happened in the palace? Is the scene from 16 years ago going to happen again? In the palace, one of the Leaf family elders roared loudly, "Long Fei, I will kill you." Boom! With a step, he rushed forward, and a huge blade slashed towards Long Fei. His rage reached the heavens. Every single person in 10 families wanted to tear Long Fei into 1,000 pieces. At this moment, Long Fei stood in place without moving. Transformers' mouth twitched and said, "You think you can touch my boss? Get out of my way." The fiery red staff moved, and before that person could use his blade, it was sent flying by Transformers' staff. He was sent flying. Thousands of meters away, he did not get up again. The Transformer staff was put away, then he pointed fiercely and said, "Who the heck come up and try again?" A 1-1 ratio for the cow. It was also at this moment that, boom boom, a few voices sounded. Zhou Yaozong's eyes shook. He immediately bowed and said, "Father, you guys." It was the great patriarch of the Zhou clan and several generals of the Zhou clan. Their bodies were covered in blood, and their armor was torn in many places. One look was all it took to tell that they had been through a fierce battle. The Zhou Taizu said, "The demon beast from another world. The entire god is a demon beast from another world. The million-strong army of the Zhou family has already collapsed, and the rest are painfully holding on. These otherworldly demon beasts seem to have received some sort of instruction. As long as we kill this person who issued the command, they will all be scattered." Then, Zhou Yaozong stared at Long Fei, his eyes blazing with anger. He said, "You have destroyed my Zhou family's million-strong army. Today I will use your head to sacrifice their dead." Zhou Taizu looked at Long Fei. At this moment, the true martial emperor's aura suddenly soared. People of the 10 families, Zhao Wuji, the 100-Zhen Wu realm powerhouse, as all stared at Long Fei at this moment. A great battle was about to begin. It was also at this time that a sharp light flashed across Long Fei's eyes. He smiled slightly and said, "You guys wait here first. Zhao Chongshan is going to explode." Ding! The system finally sounded out. Chapter 2638, Breath of Dragon Emperor. Chapter 2638, Breath of Dragon Emperor. It was finally going to explode. Long Fei had thought that Zhao Chongshan was not dead yet, and was thinking about where the problem had occurred. Now, the system beep finally sounded. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing Zhao Chongshan for gaining 20 million experience, 10 million true chi points, and 100 arrogant god energy value points. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining the Breath of Dragon Emperor, Black Dragon Emperor. Would you like to fuse it? Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining the secret technique, Without Child Leg. Do you wish to cultivate it? 2 notifications sounded. Long Fei secretly tensed up. Breath of Dragon Emperor? Or was it the Black Dragon Emperor's power? Immediately, Long Fei immediately opened up the system to check, and now he couldn't let go of any power that could make him stronger. If the power that the Black Dragon had exploded out just now wasn't suddenly weakened at the last moment, Sky Envoy would already be dead. If he could have this kind of power, then the underworld fire's cool-down time wouldn't matter. Item: Breath of Dragon Emperor, Black Dragon Emperor. Grade: Dragon King Attribute. Darkness Description: Disposable item. After being fused, it will be able to release Breath of Dragon Emperor. The power it can unleash is proportional to the level of the player. The lowest damage is 100 million true damage plus player level. Damn! Is it really that amazing? Ha ha ha! With this chi, you don't have to worry about not leveling up anymore. Long Fei was secretly excited. 100 million points of damage was just too much, even though Sky Envoy's health is more than 100 million points. But don't forget, Long Fei still had one more powerful card to use. He kept it. Downgrade Spray. 3 realms down. Lowering your level didn't only reduce your strength, but also your defense and HP. If that were to happen, wouldn't you be able to kill him with 100 million critical damage? Ha ha! Long Fei laughed sinisterly. Without child leg, a secret art. Skill path, without child leg rank. Secret technique, god level consumption. 10 million true chi points description. A kick in the face. Genuine death. Description 2. Contains the stun effect, triggering probability of 1%. No wonder Zhao Chongshan is an old eunuch. He was probably kicked to crippled by that kick as well, right? Long Fei moved and immediately said, "Cultivate." He was secretly rejoicing. Thankfully, it was not the sunflower scripture or the evil warding sword technique, or else I wouldn't be able to cultivate them. If he wanted to practice this technique, he would have to castrate himself first. That would be playing an egg. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for training without child leg. This secret art. Ignore the level. If the stun chance was triggered, it would be like adding wings to a tiger. Long Fei was getting more and more excited. If he wasn't sure in the beginning, then now he had at least a 50% chance of success. He could take a gamble. Immediately, Long Fei retracted his consciousness and smiled. "You can begin." He suddenly shouted, "Kill." As soon as he finished, Zhou Yaozong said with a heavy voice as well, "Kill him." The patriarch of the 10 families also roared, "Kill him." Zhao Wuji let out a loud shout, "Kill him." All of a sudden, a great battle was about to begin. The 3-headed, 6-armed King Kong took the lead and charged into the crowd. The staff in his hand became extremely thick, and as those people rushed forward, he suddenly swept it. Crash! One after another. Next, Gue Qingshan said in a deep voice, "It's time to avenge my dead brother. Kill him for me." Chief Captain's gaze darkened as he said, "Let's beat them up." Xiao Dai, Thin Monkey, the big-sized man quickly rushed up. Kai Lina sat cross-legged in the air and did not make any moves. Her mission was to protect Long Fei. Long Fei stood where he was without moving, staring at Sky Envoy. Similarly, Sky Envoy also did not move. His eyes was also staring at Long Fei. A faint smile hung on the corners of his mouth, and his heart was getting more and more excited. He felt a power from Long Fei's body that was even more powerful than the Ming clan's ancient inheritance. Although he didn't know what it was, but he knew right away. It changed again. His name is already purple and black. Long Fei squinted his eyes. The color of Sky Envoy's name changed again. The current boss was at the edge of berserk mode. Long Fei's eyes were tightly locked. At this moment, his spiritual sense gushed out like crazy. It could be said that it covered an area of thousands of kilometers. He also felt everything in the Sky Envoy. Long Fei slightly smiled. "You can't wait any longer." Sky Envoy also smiled. "No, these people's deaths have nothing to do with me. What I want is you, the power from your body. Whether it is the ancient martial arts or the power of the ancient inheritance, they are both useless to you. They will only be a waste if you use them. How about you give them to me, and I'll spare your life?" Long Fei's heart trembled, and thought, "So you want my power? Damn! I finally understand why I haven't fought since the beginning." Long Fei had never thought about this issue clearly, and now he understood. So it was because he coveted the power of the ancient martial arts and Ming clan's imprint on his body. He thought to himself, "Seems like these two powers are really strong. Even the envoys of the gods' tribe would want to know that they are extraordinary." Long Fei was simply not clear about the power of the ancient world. Even though he knew that the Sky Envoy wanted these two powers in his heart, he still felt that these two powers were only average strong. However, it was enough to know that. Long Fei smiled faintly and said, "What do you think? If you kneel in front of me and sing a song of conquest, will I spare your life?" "No way. It would be too much of a loss to spare your life. I can only make a point of saving your corpse. What do you think? After all, I have to kill you. You have to understand." Very pretentious. He was quite pretentious. Sky Envoy laughed sinisterly, his aura faintly fluctuating. At this moment, Zhao Wuji pounced on him and moved the everlasting burning sword in his hand. "You dog, go to hell!" The corner of Long Fei's eyes trembled. With a wave of his right hand, the sky sword released a ray of sword light, and the sky swords will instantly released 10,000 sword beams. Without waiting for Zhao Wuji to descend, the 10,000 sword beams, including the person who wielded the sword, were instantly released. The system sounded out. But, right at this moment, Long Fei's eyes suddenly contracted as though they were needles, and his back was drenched in cold sweat. He suddenly couldn't move from head to toe, and at this moment, the Sky Envoy disappeared. His spiritual sense could not keep up at all. Gone. There was no aura, no figure. He seemed to have disappeared into thin air. However, at this moment, Tang Renjie suddenly moved, heavily roared out, and said, "Boss, above your head." In the sky, a black shadow descended. "Come on, give me your full strength." Ha ha. Chapter 2639. The Godlike Powerhouse is here. Chapter 2639. The godlike powerhouse is here suddenly. There was no sign at all, no warning. It was too fast. Idea that was fast enough for Long Fei didn't even have the chance to react. An enormous aura surged forth from all directions. At this moment, Long Fei stood in place without moving, as though he had been completely crushed. He couldn't move. It was extremely uncomfortable. At this moment, in another place, the Demon Emperor rushed over like a madman. His speed was as fast as lightning. In his heart, he kept praying, "Please don't let anything happen to me. Please don't let anything happen to me. If something happens to you, I won't be able to afford it." And other than worrying about Long Fei, he was also worried about another matter. They were afraid that Long Fei and the Sky Envoy would start fighting. The demon god had said before that with Long Fei's identity and uniqueness, he couldn't be discovered by the gods' tribe's powerhouse. Once discovered, he felt that he couldn't let the gods' tribe's envoy leave, or else there would be endless troubles in the future. This was what he was most worried about. The Sky Envoy was too strong. Long Fei was definitely not a match for him. Huff! Hurry up, hurry up! It was one of the fastest war beasts in the Zhenwu continent, but the magic tribe's territory was too far, to the point of becoming a god. It was impossible to make it in one night. The Demon Emperor's heart burned with anxiety. At this moment, the lightning-clouded leopard suddenly stopped, and the aura on its body turned into that of a small ant. There were two people standing in front of it, two people in golden armor. Aura? There was no aura. Cultivation base. No cultivation. The two of them were like the air, but the two of them stood there for a long time, looking left and right, seeing the Demon Emperor appear. One of the golden armor elder immediately said, "Little friend, do you know where Zhao Guo is? Little friend, call him a friend of the Demon Emperor." The Demon Emperor's eyes narrowed. He was stunned. His intuition told him that these two people were not simple. There was no such person in the Zhenwu continent. He was at the Emperor Zhenwu realm, and called him little friend? Look at him. Can you be a bit more amiable? This damned lower realm is a mess. It makes this old man a little dizzy. Another golden armor elder smiled, faintly, and took out a pill from his bosom. He looked at the demon emperor and said, "Little friend, come, tell me, I'll give you tang-tang to eat." That medicinal pill. It was a golden medicinal pill. It shone with a bright light, clearly an existence that was absolutely beyond the divine grade. The demon emperor's heart tensed up even more. And then he said lightly, "Even the Zhaoguo god is in the north and south direction. You guys are going the other way." "Right. I already told you that we went the wrong way, but you didn't believe me." Then he looked at the demon emperor and gently smiled. "Little friend, thank you. This is for you." Ha ha ha. A elixir flew to the side of the demon emperor, and then the two golden armor elder transformed into two streams of light, like flashing meteors, and disappeared in an instant. This speed, it was 1,000 times faster than his lightning-clouded leopard. The elixir landed in his hands. The demon emperor made a move, wanting to see its level, but in that instant, his ideas seemed to have been devoured. At this moment, the demon emperor quickly threw the elixir out. Clouded leopard, the lightning-clouded leopard rushed out with all its strength. Rumble, rumble, rumble. A massive arc of fire burst out, blotting out the sky and covering the sun. It covered an area of hundreds of thousands of miles. The demon emperor crazily attacked with all of his strength, but it was still covered by the fire. It was also at this moment. Rumble, rumble. The sky and the earth seemed like they were going to split open, hundreds of thousands of kilometers away from each other. A huge crater was formed. It was more than 10,000 times more violent than a nuclear bomb or a meteorite. Not a single blade of grass grew within the cover. It was 10,000 meters deep. This kind of power was too terrifying. The demon emperor's entire body was covered in blood as he crawled out. The clouded leopard underneath him had died to the point where not even his bones were left. He stood at the edge of the crater and looked around, causing the demon emperor's scalp to go numb. Too terrifying. The few nearby towns all disappeared in an instant. This power, with a few more words, the entire plane could be razed to the ground, and even one of the planes could be directly blown apart. Terrifying. The demon emperor looked in the direction where the two golden armor elders had disappeared and thought to himself, with this kind of strength coupled with that elixir, could it be they are also powerhouse of God's tribe? Another two? No way. I have to inform Long Fei. Right now, he could only rejoice and tell the two golden armor elders the opposite direction. He still had a chance to reach the capital faster than them. The demon emperor didn't rest. He completely released the power of the true martial emperor, crazily rushing towards the divine city. At the same time, his heart tensed up. Long Fei, just who are you? Why are you two powerhouse of God's tribe here? Could it be that the powerhouse of God's tribe from the Zhao family was wiped out by you? Holy *T. You little rascal. Don't be too fierce. The demon emperor was shocked. He felt that the envoys from the God's tribe came one after another because of something that Long Fei had done. Moreover, big noises continuously rang out from the direction of the capital. Something big must have happened. He was getting more and more worried. These two golden armor elders were definitely stronger than the previous ones. If he had swallowed the elixir just now, then he would have been dead beyond recognition. With just a single thought, he killed so many people. In the eyes of the people of God's tribe, all living beings were ants. We have to be in front of them. Definitely. Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. Does that kid really think I gave him a pill? The explosion just now should be dead. Ha ha ha. The people of the lower realms are all idiots. Sigh. I really wonder what the elders have sent us to this low realm. What can we do here? They're all a bunch of dregs. Don't complain. Aside from us, there's another adult. He's not complaining. So what are we complaining about? 2 golden armor elder S. Also, there was also a powerhouse of God's tribe who did not appear. No one knew who he was. Even they did not know. We should hurry up too. We'll patrol for a bit. If there's nothing else, we'll be leaving. There's no need for this plane to exist. We should just use the God's tribe's cannon to annihilate it. I agree. Some trash planes should be destroyed. The Imperial Capital, the Imperial Palace. Long Fei raised his eyes slightly, and his gaze darkened. His entire body was being crushed. He couldn't move at all. At this moment, Sky Envoy's right palm moved, directly striking towards Long Fei's head. At this moment, shwa, kacha-kacha, a series of sounds of steel colliding rang, and in that instant, Kai Lina descended, directly using his purple steel armor wings to wrap Long Fei up. Chapter 2640, Using Downgrade Spray. Chapter 2640. Using downgrade spray, Kai Lina's only mission was to protect Long Fei. The moment the Sky Envoy disappeared, she flew towards Long Fei. After going through the power of the primordial force of variation, her strength had also increased rapidly. Her wings had already turned purplish-black, and her defensive strength had increased even more. A huge pair of wings flapped, wrapping Long Fei up. Beneath the thick pair of wings of steel armor, Kai Lina looked at Long Fei. Because she was too tall and straight, when she reached 8 meters, her head was raised even higher than Long Fei's. Long Fei looked at her. This was the first time they were so close to each other. He could hear Kai Lina's heartbeat. Bang, bang, bang. It was also at this moment Sky Envoy's palm descended, looking at Long Fei, who was covered by the purple-winged steel armor. His strength slightly changed as he said in a heavy tone, "Break for me." Rumble. A divine light exploded. Light shot out in all directions. It directly covered the entire deity. At this moment, Kai Lina's pair of wings immediately sunk, and Kai Lina's body also fiercely sank as he forcefully endured. But he still spat out a mouthful of fresh blood. It was incomparably painful. However, she did not let go of her wings and continued to protect Long Fei with all her might. Boom. Rumble. Rumble. A large amount of people were sent flying, and all the warriors below the Zhenwu realm were smashed into pieces by the shock wave. The noble children, the onlookers, the disciples of those sections, the disciples of the Xianyu sect, Elder Yuan Shan, Elder Wu Yi, were all instantly killed. Their internal organs, as well as their mind and consciousness, were all shattered by the power. The Zhenwu realm's powerhouse, were also sent flying one after another, as fresh blood sprayed crazily from their mouths. It was extremely uncomfortable. One move. It crushed everything in its path. What is power? This is it. What was a stomp? This was it. Zhenwu realm, the Emperor Zhenwu's realm, is awesome. In front of the Sky Envoy, existences that were like ants were completely incomparable. If not for the strong defense of Kai Lina's steel armor, he would have been dead by now. Boss. The Transformers was furious and exploded with his 3 heads, 6 arms, Vajra tyrant body. Go. Rumble. His entire body instantly turned scarlet red, as if red-hot molten iron was flowing all over his body. He connected it with that flaming rod. Kong Kim roared angrily, "Fuck your ancestors." Boom. He took a step forward. King Kong fist. The gigantic staff melted instantly and turned into a glove covering King Kong's 2 fists. Then, It fiercely smashed toward Sky Envoy, who was in midair. At this moment, Transformers' strength had already reached the Emperor Zhen Wu realm. But Sky Envoy didn't even look at it, as he gently waved his right hand. A surge of power was released. Rumble, hitting Transformers' chest. Walala! Space cracked as the Transformers smashed into the ground, creating a huge crater that was several hundred meters deep. The palace shook and countless buildings collapsed. In the deep pit, the Transformers spat out a mouthful of blood. The power of the Sky Envoy was too strong. The Emperor Zhen Wu did not even qualify for him to look straight at it. I'll give you one more chance. Obediently hand over all your strength, and I will spare your life, including the lives of all the trash around you. Sky Envoy laughed coldly. His eyes were filled with disdain. The anger in Long Fei's heart raged. At this moment, Tang Renjia moved. Xiao Dai, the big-sized man, and the thin monkey all rushed forward. Chief Captain let out a heavy roar. Protect little junior brother. Magic Captain's power blast him to death. 17th son of Devil's power quickly linked together and fused together. Humph! A bunch of useless things actually dare to show their fangs and brandish their claws in front of me. Sky Envoy was extremely contemptuous. Long Fei said heavily, "Don't move. Nobody move." Going up there was suicide. Transformers' physical body defense had reached its peak. However, to be sent flying with just one move, he wasn't an opponent at all. No matter how many people there were, they wouldn't be able to do it, let alone the fact that they were Zhen Wu Realm S. Even Emperor Zhen Wu's Realm S were not a match for them. The difference in power was simply too great. At the same time, Long Fei said to Kai Lina, "Let me out." Kai Lina shook his head, his face extremely pale, and said, "No, you can't go out." Long Fei gently wiped off the blood from the corner of his mouth and said, "Be good, listen to me, and let me out. I promise you that I will definitely kill him." Anger raged in his heart. "If you don't do it, you won't be a human." Kai Lina looked at Long Fei. Long Fei smiled faintly. The pair of wings loosened slightly, and pieces of steel armor quickly fell off. All the feathers that had originally been thick and dense had been lost, leaving behind only the value of a wing. At first glance, the wings looked extremely ugly. Furthermore, blood was frantically dripping from the skeleton. Long Fei felt a sharp pain in his heart. He stared at the Sky Envoy and said, "Fuck, touch my woman. Otherwise I will kill you and your father." Kai Lina's entire body was in extreme pain, but she did not leave Long Fei's side and continued to protect Long Fei with all her might. Sky Envoy gave a cold laugh. "You still have a choice. As long as you hand over your power, they will all be alive, and you too." Long Fei laughed. "Sure. You want the power from your father, right? Come. Lousy is right here. I just want it." And then his aura abruptly retracted. Everyone was shocked. "Boss, no. Long Fei, let's fight it out with him." Youngest junior brother. Even if he gains power, he won't let you off. Don't listen to him. Zhou Yaozong and the others were excited. In the end, the one who loses is still you. Wait until Long Fei gets sucked in. We will immediately take action and kill him. Damn thing. They hated Long Fei to the bones. Every single one of them stared straight at Long Fei, as if they wanted to eat his flesh and blood. Long Fei said, "Dying by myself to be able to exchange for your lives? It's worth it. I believe that Lord Sky Envoy will keep his word. Bring it on. Don't waste everyone's time. You can also escape from me as soon as you can, right?" Long Fei seemed to be having fun. Under his sleeve, he held a spray in his hand. This spray could only be used at a close distance. Furthermore, it had to be used on the opponent. Otherwise, the spray would fail. Long Fei was simply unable to get close to the Sky Envoy. There was only one way, and that was to let the Sky Envoy get close to him. Sky Envoy looked at Long Fei and sneered. "What are you trying to do?" Long Fei said, "No matter what tricks I have up my sleeve, it's useless. I'm not your opponent. What do you think? Do you still want my strength? If you don't want it, then I'm leaving." Long Fei didn't give the Sky Envoy time to think. Sky Envoy's gaze darkened as he said with contempt, "You are right. Even if you play tricks, it is useless. In my hands you are just an ant. I can pinch you to death however I want, and you will die no matter how I want you to." Long Fei said, "That's right, come quickly. Hurry up and do it. I can't wait." "What the F***? Sky Envoy's eyes turned sinister. His figure suddenly flashed and landed right in front of Long Fei. Following that, his palm moved, and his palm directly pressed onto Long Fei's head. "Give me—" Not waiting for him to finish, Long Fei's right hand gently moved. Pooh! Pee! The downgrade spray sprayed onto Sky Envoy's body. Chapter 2641, Sky Envoy's Egg Blast. Chapter 2641, Sky Envoy's Egg Blast. Pooh! Pew! Both of the sprays landed on Sky Envoy's body at a close distance. Sky Envoy was slightly stunned and looked at Long Fei with curiosity. Not just him. Everyone looked at Long Fei curiously, a question running through their minds. What is he doing? What was that thing in his hand? Are you crazy? Causing trouble? Is he crazy? All sorts of guesses and doubts. Sky Envoy looked at Long Fei with some doubt. What are you planning to do? Sky Envoy looked at Long Fei without moving. The atmosphere was a bit awkward. Long Fei grinned and smiled. You'll know soon enough. He felt his heart tighten. Honestly speaking, his heart was incomparably nervous, and his palms were drenched in cold sweat. After all, the downgrade spray was a special item given by the system. And then again, how high was the rank of the Sky Envoy? If he were to lower his cultivation base by 3 realms, it wouldn't matter to him. It would be just as strong. What could he do then? However, since he had already done it, Long Fei didn't think too much into it. He was waiting for the downgrade spray's effect to come out. Sky Envoy glanced at Long Fei coldly and continued to absorb the power from Long Fei's body. 2 seconds later, suddenly, a system announcement rang out in Long Fei's mind. Ding! System notification. The downgrade spray has produced an effect. And at this moment, Sky Envoy's body suddenly sank. His eyes tensed up. After that, his pupils shrunk as he anxiously stared at Long Fei and asked, "Little bastard, what did you do just now?" It worked. Sky Envoy's aura suddenly decreased. Not only that, the blood groove health point above his head had also decreased by quite a bit. Downgrade spray. What was reduced was the level, which was accompanied by defense, strength, and health point, as well as all of their attributes. 3 great realms. This was not a small number. It would take a few years, dozens of years, or even 100 years to break through any one of these realms. S. eyes turned sinister as he felt an inexplicable panic in his heart. However, in the next moment, the rage in his heart surged. Surging, straight towards Long Fei. My strength has been reduced by quite a bit. Long Fei smiled faintly. Sky Envoy stared at Long Fei and said, "It really was you? Trash, what did you do to me?" Rumble, rumble, rumble. A palm strike at close distance with extremely strong power. Even though Sky Envoy had lowered its power by 3 whole realms, its power was still extremely strong. At this moment, Long Fei moved. Breath of Dragon Emperor. Fuse. Boom. The power of the Breath of Dragon Emperor, Black Dragon Emperor, instantly fused into Long Fei's body. The power within his body began to roil and wreak havoc. The veins on his entire body bulged. The veins on his forehead turned black, and his appearance was extremely ferocious. What did you do? It's very simple. I want you to die. Long Fei clenched his fists tightly. Boom! Black Dragon Emperor's flames sprayed out. At this moment, Long Fei felt as if he had entered a super berserk state. Black flames ignited all over his body, just like the flames on the black dragon's body. Sky Envoy's gaze tensed up and said, just with a piece of trash like you, he still wasn't qualified. Die. Sky Envoy, who had lowered their cultivation levels by 3 realms, started to panic. He did not want to absorb any energy from Long Fei's body anymore, and only thought of one thing, kill Long Fei. But before he could even say the word dead, Long Fei shouted in his heart, without child leg. The black breath of Dragon Emperor moved. Yi Zichen kicked in. He viciously kicked Sky Envoy in the crotch. Sky Envoy's eyes suddenly bulged. He was in so much pain that he bounced up from the ground, his entire body shivering and shivering. It was so painful that it couldn't take care of itself. You know, this kick of the without child leg was released using the breath of Dragon Emperor. Its power could be imagined. Furthermore, no matter how strong a man's crotch was, his defense was the weakest unless you can cultivate the super divine technique, sun retraction art. However, Sky Envoy did not cultivate this kick. He would be cut off from his family. Sky Envoy's crotch had already been broken, the 2 little eggs were also broken, and the egg juice had already exploded out. He would probably never be able to act again in this life. The without child leg meant that their children would die without descendants. It was worthy of its name. 1 foot neutralized Sky Envoy's palm strike. Sky Envoy howled in pain. At the same time, he was burning with anger. You dog, I'm going to kill you. I have to kill you. His body was crimson red. The power in his entire body surged crazily as it exploded out explosively. Even if they had lowered their cultivation by 3 whole realms, the Sky Envoy was still a powerful explosion. His cultivation was not many times higher than the Emperor Zhenwu's realm. If Long Fei was still a Zhenwu realm, he would definitely not be a match for them. He had fused with the breath of Dragon Emperor, and in that short period of time, his power had already broken through the Emperor Zhenwu's realm. Kill me? Ha ha! You are not qualified now. Long Fei brought out the Black Dragon Emperor's aura to its peak, and with a move of his body, enormous black flames burned up, and the incomparably thick breath of Dragon Emperor was released to his feet. Without child leg. Boundless kick. Your father will kill you. Boom. Boom. Long Fei moved, his figure disappearing. Sky Envoy's gaze suddenly tensed up. So fast. How could he be so fast? The surrounding people also looked stupefied. Long Fei suddenly seemed to have become a completely different person, a person's strength that was completely above the Emperor Zhenwu. Crush your father? Hurt my brother? Hurt my woman? If I don't kick you to death today, I won't be named Long. The flames of anger in Long Fei's heart also erupted as he crazily retreated under the pressure of the breath of Dragon Emperor. Bang, 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 bang. Bang, 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 bang. Unlimited number of kicks. There was no cooldown. Not limitless firepower was fiercer. Moreover, every kick landed on Sky Envoy's crotch. While you're sick, I'll take your life. If you don't die, I will die. Long Fei was very clear. The breath of Dragon Emperor only had 1.5 minutes worth of duration, and the downgrade spray only had 3 minutes. If they did not kill the Sky Envoy, they would all die. Only 3 minutes. Sky Envoy still had hundreds of millions of HP left. Long Fei fought with all his might. Bang, bang, bang. Ah, ah, ah. Sky Envoy was completely suppressed. He was only in pain, now, unusually in pain. If one were to say that he was still able to save the first leg, then there was no saving him now, because it was rotten, rotten, and turned into piles of mincemeat. At this time, the amount of HP on his head was rapidly decreasing as well. Chapter 2642. Only 1 HP remaining. Chapter 2642. Only 1 HP remaining. Oh. It was painful. The pain that only men would understand was something that made everyone around them stupefied. Many of the male warriors couldn't help but tighten their legs, not daring to look straight at him. Zhou Yaozong was dumbfounded. The people of 10 families were dumbfounded. Sect of Infinitas, who was beaten half to death, was stupefied. They expressed their loyalty and chose the Sky Envoy side. But the egg of the Sky Envoy was smashed. Furthermore, Long Fei was like a madman. He kept on exploding his kick. He was trying to break through the crotch of the pants. The rhythm of splitting the person into two, this was too cruel. Many people felt their scalps go numb. His mind was trembling. They did not know that it would turn out like this. Shouldn't Sky Envoy be the one who destroyed Long Fei? How could this be? Impossible, impossible. It must be an illusion. Sky Envoy is a descendant of God's tribe. How can he be like this? My God, what did I see? Everyone was dumbfounded. The strength that Long Fei displayed was too strong, especially the unlimited kicks from the without child leg. It did not give Sky Envoy the chance to catch his breath. Ha ha ha. Boss is awesome. Too powerful. Junior apprentice brother is too sharp. So what if you're a Sky Envoy? It's just as dry as usual. The boss is domineering. Tang Renjia and his men became excited. They never thought that Long Fei would suddenly erupt with such power and instantly crush Sky Envoy, and Sky Envoy's screams meant that he was about to die. Indeed, there wasn't much blood left on top of his head. Fear inexplicably rose in Sky Envoy's heart, and he said solemnly, "Brat, why aren't you stopping? I am a Sky Envoy. If you dare kill me, the entire Zhenwu continent would be massacred." Stop. Did you hear that? The Sky Envoy roared. He was scared. He originally had an aloof and cold expression, but now he was afraid. He was afraid that he would die here. Long Fei grinned. "The one I'm going to blow up is you, Sky Envoy. The one that dropped it is you, the big boss." Bang, bang, bang. With a few more fierce kicks, his strength became even more ferocious and dense. Long Fei used all his strength with every kick because his time was running out. If we cannot destroy the Sky Envoy in the time of the breath of Dragon Emperor, then even if the Sky Envoy dropped 3 realms, he probably would not be able to kill him. It had to be a race against time. Long Fei raged. The power beneath his feet became even more ferocious. Each kick was laced with blood. Sky Envoy's crotch was already covered in blood. Sky Envoy tried his best to defend and said, "I am the descendant of God's tribe. Do you know the consequences of killing me? God's tribe is a sky that represents the universal realm. Do you dare to go against it?" F***CK. Who is God's tribe? Who is the sky? If you dare to provoke Lousy, Lousy will do the same to you. You can just blow it up for Lousy. Long Fei stared at the amount of blood on Sky Envoy's head, his heart tensing up. Hurry up, hurry up. He had to say it. The Sky Envoy's defense was beyond imagination. Sky Envoy was much stronger than Long Fei had expected. He had originally thought that he would be able to easily destroy Sky Envoy because of the breath of Dragon Emperor and the downgrade spray. A minute passed, but it still wasn't enough. It still wouldn't explode. The breath of Dragon Emperor will be used up in 20 seconds. I still have over 100 million HP left. Long Fei was worried. F***CK. I'm going all out. The idea moved. Long Fei's idea entered the Ming clan's imprint, and after a deep roar, she said, "Strength, strength, I want strength. What is the power of the Ming clan's ancient inheritance? Activate it for me." Boom. A raging flame suddenly burst out from the signet space. The gigantic superforce of Ming clan gushed out. The imprints on his arm became even deeper. His arm felt as if it had been burned by fire, incomparably painful. Long Fei did not mind. As long as he was strong, he would not hesitate no matter how much he had to pay. Boom, boom. The superforce of Ming clan was released, and the breath of Dragon Emperor became even more explosive. Bam, bam. He kicked out, and like a series of dark gates opening, the violent energy of darkness, and the netherworld, a number of flowers shot out, crazily, heavily striking Sky Envoy in the groin. 320, 3221 inch, 450, 3223, 503, 4483. His damage had doubled. Sky Envoy's HP fell even faster. He only had a little more than 100 million HP left, but Long Fei's breath of Dragon Emperor still had a little more than 10 seconds. Enough. Enough to blow him up. Long Fei was a little excited. Ha ha ha. This is the ultimate boss. Hurry up and kill it. Would killing this boss count as clearing the Zhen Wu continent? Long Fei was extremely excited. The strongest boss in the world was like the ultimate boss in a game. If it were to die, he would definitely drop a lot of powerful holy artifact. Long Fei could no longer bear with it. Sky Envoy also felt that Long Fei's power was still increasing. If this continued, he would die here. No, I absolutely cannot die in this lower realm. I am the Sky Envoy. I am the descendant of God's tribe. How can I die in a place like this? Sky Envoy's gaze tightened. He endured the pain. With a furious roar, all the power in his body burst out. A ray of divine light soared into the sky and pierced deep into the sky as if it was connecting the heavens and the earth. Unparalleled power. Long Fei was slightly taken aback. Want to escape? Grandma? It's going to explode soon. You still want to run? Seeing that divine light, Long Fei immediately knew that the Sky Envoy was trying to escape. 3 seconds. Long Fei frowned. With a move of his right hand, he summoned his sky sword, sky-splitting sword, sky-splitting sword. Kill! The sky sword's chi moved and directly cut off the divine light. Sky Envoy's eyes darkened. He stared at the sky sword in Long Fei's hands. Sky sword? Who are you to long-jaunting? Not waiting for him to finish. Long Fei jumped up heavily, and with a kick to his feet, he looked at the last bit of HP of Sky Envoy and laughed excitedly. Explode! Boom! A heavy kick landed on Sky Envoy's head. Bam! Sky Envoy descended from the sky. A huge pit was created by the explosion as Sky Envoy kneeled on the ground, his entire body drenched in blood. Ding! System notification. Breath of Dragon Emperor has been emptied. The system sounded out. S heart tightened. The Breath of Dragon Emperor was a one-time use item. It would be gone once it was used. Just as he was thinking about this. Shwa! Inside the deep pit, the Sky Envoy soared into the sky. Boss, he's not dead yet, Tang Renjia anxiously shouted out. Long Fei's pupils constricted. When he saw the amount of blood on the top of Sky Envoy's head, Long Fei immediately took out his sun-killing arrow. Chapter 2643, Chasing Sun-Killing Arrow. Chapter 2643, Chasing Sun-Killing Arrow. He only had a little bit of HP left. A little. As long as it wasn't an MIS, it could explode. At this moment, the Sky Envoy didn't retaliate at all, but instead flew into the sky and grabbed onto the instant Long Fei was relaxing, wanting to escape. His mind, primordial spirit, and consciousness had finally found the chance to extinguish the lamp. But there was still a chance. As long as he could escape Zhenwu continent, then nothing would be a problem. He will recover. At that time, he would make the blood of the entire Zhenwu continent flow like a river. In that instant, when he flew up into the sky, Sky Envoy started laughing maniacally. Ha 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 ha. I escaped. Long Fei, just you wait. I will make you regret coming to this world. I will make this continent flow with blood, and not a single blade of grass will grow. Ha ha ha. How fast was Sky Envoy? It could be said, if he wanted to escape, no one would be able to catch up. Furthermore, in this situation, his speed of escape was unparalleled by anyone. When the breath of Dragon Emperor was used up, Long Fei's cultivation immediately recovered to Zhenwu realm, as he was not able to catch up with the Sky Envoy at this level. He's escaping. Boss, he escaped. What should we do? Although he had crushed Sky Envoy, not killing him was equivalent to doing nothing. If he were to make a complete comeback, then no one in this world would be able to stop him. Moreover, he might even bring the powerhouse of God's tribe. Zhou Yaozong heaved a sigh of relief in his heart. There is still a chance, and there is still a chance to make a comeback. As long as the Sky Envoy does not die, Long Fei will feel extremely nervous. Zhou Yaozong quickly shouted out, "Zhou disciples, quickly retreat." Since the Sky Envoy had already escaped, there was no longer a need for them to stay any longer. Furthermore, they had to withdraw as soon as possible. At this moment, Gui Qingshan said coldly, "You want to leave?" "Zhou Yaozong, it's time to take revenge for the revenge 16 years ago, right?" Zhou Yaozong's gaze tensed up. It was also at this time that Long Fei also coldly said, "No one should even think of leaving." The sun-killing arrow moved. The system sounded out. Ding. Target locked. He released 100 million primeval essence and fiercely pulled on the bow. A light flashed on the sun-killing arrow. The bow was pulled to the brim, and it was released abruptly. Whoosh! Imperceptibly, a light arrow shot out. After that, Long Fei didn't even look at the sky, but sneered coldly at Zhou Yaozong. "I didn't say go. Who dares to? All of you will die today." These people had to die. Long Fei never thought of letting them go. Zhou Taizu gave a cold laugh and said, "Brat, just now, your strength was indeed great, but now, you are just a Zhenwu realm. You have used up all your soul treasures and all of your techniques. Do you think you are my opponent now?" The Zhou Taizu said coldly, "He is the Emperor Zhenwu's realm." If Long Fei didn't have anything, it was just as he said, she was not his match. No matter how strong the Zhenwu realm was, it was impossible for it to be a match for the Emperor Zhenwu's realm. This was an iron law. Zhou Yaozong also reacted. His expression was joyous as he said, "Little bastard, did you hear that? You think you can stop my Zhou family?" At this moment, those people of the Zhenwu realm and the 10 families who were not dead all stood behind Zhou Yaozong. Obviously, when the Sky Envoy fled, they once again chose to stand by the side, standing beside Zhou Yaozong, because they all knew the Zhou Taizu was the strongest here. If Long Fei used all his trump cards, then he would not be a match for the Zhou Taizu. Seeing that the surrounding powerhouse were all standing behind him, Zhou Yaozong said complacently, "Brat, if I were you, I would definitely not do anything stupid. You still have a choice. If they were to fight, we'll split it equally, and you can forget about escaping." Zhou Yaozong said indifferently. Chief Captain said in a low voice, "Junior brother, that Zhou Taizu is a powerhouse of the Emperor Zhenwu, our strength is a little insufficient. Moreover, Long Fei himself was still in a state of critical HP. True martial emperor. Ha ha! Is it very strong? Long Fei smiled slightly. Zhou Taizu replied, Not very strong, just a little stronger than you. Do you dare to move? Very arrogant. It looked like he was about to eat Long Fei. Tang, Renjia let out a heavy cry. What's there to be afraid of? Kill him. One of the magic captains said in a low voice, Junior brother, Master is almost here. Let's delay a little longer. Long Fei asked, Demon Emperor? He didn't think that the Demon Emperor would come here. However, he didn't wait for the Demon Emperor to arrive. He faintly smiled and said, I hate people who act tough in front of me the most, especially people who think that they are of a higher rank. Acting cool. Slap, slap. Long Fei's eyes turned sinister. He thought to himself, Why aren't you going faster? Why haven't you caught up yet? Sun-killing arrow. Kill the sun, arrow. It didn't matter where you were. Even if you hid in hell, you would still be hit. The arrow just now had shot toward Sky Envoy. With just a little bit of HP, as long as he hit the target, he would die. Sky Envoy will definitely explode once he dies. Experience points will absolutely defy the heavens, and he will definitely step into the Emperor Zhenwu's realm. However, he still hadn't caught up to her yet. It was a bit of a pain in the ass. This was also because Sky Envoy's speed was too fast. Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. Sky Envoy almost laughed out loud. He escaped and ascended into the sky. Although he did not leave Zhenwu continent, he was already millions of kilometers away. No one could catch up to him at such a distance. Sky Envoy turned his head to look in the direction of the divine capital. Clenching his fists tightly, he thought to himself, Just you wait, I will definitely return. Long Fei, I will definitely make you pay 1,000 times the price. I will definitely. Huh. What's that? A ray of light flew towards him. Very quickly. At the same time, Sky Envoy felt a powerful force, and immediately his gaze tightened. Damn it! He finally understood why Long Fei did not chase after him and did not move at all. Who would have thought that there would be another move? Sky Envoy scolded all 18 generations of Long Fei's ancestors, and he said in his heart, You want to catch me? With just you? Not yet. Sky Envoy was hit again. It was just that. He was heavily injured, and his entire body was severely injured. He couldn't use his usual speed at all. He watched as the light arrows got closer and closer. Sky Envoy roared in his heart, Long Fei, I won't let you off even if I become a ghost. They were about to catch him. However, at this moment, 2 rays of golden light descended. Sky Envoy's gaze tensed up. Seeing hope, he shouted loudly, Golden Armor Elder. Ha ha ha. I'm saved. Ha ha ha. You want to kill me? No way. Sky Envoy rushed in front of Golden Armor Elder and shouted, Golden Armor Elder, save, save, save me. Dragon, dragon. Not waiting for him to finish. The kill, the sun. Arrows hit. Boom. The last bit of HP in his HP bar dropped to 0. Explode. Chapter 2644. Human Emperors Attack. Chapter 2644. Human Emperors Attack. Boom. With a loud sound, Sky Envoy shouted, Save me. Then. There was no then. The 2 Golden Armor Elder S were startled as they watched the Sky Envoy floating down from the sky. One of the Golden Armor Elder asked, Dead? Another person said, Sky Envoy was killed? The 2 of them looked at each other, not looking down at Sky Envoy in the sky. Sky Envoy killed. In this lower realms, there was actually someone who dared to touch Sky Envoy. At this moment, their expressions changed, and their eyes became vicious. Invisibly, their bodies began to emit a sense of anger. Obviously, the death of Sky Envoy was a slap to his face. As a golden armor bodyguard, he would definitely not allow such a thing to happen. In that instant, Shwa, the two beams of light shot towards the capital like two bolts of lightning. After the two of them left, in the forest, beside Sky Envoy's corpse, a black line fell down, following which a purple-robed elderly man landed in front of Sky Envoy. After a long time, Dragon? The purple-robed elder's hoarse voice sounded like sand spitting out of his mouth. Dragon what? Or what dragon? The old man's eyebrows tightened slightly, and then, possessing his body, he formed a hand seal with one hand. The tip of his finger flashed with a little light, while sticking to Sky Envoy's forehead, his eyes slightly closed. In that moment, an enormous amount of memories flooded into the purple-robed elder's sea of consciousness. Boom, boom, boom. 3 minutes later, the purple-robed old man slowly stood up. His triangular eyes were extremely gloomy. The aura on his body was especially strong. The area within tens of thousands of km was so quiet that not even a sound could be heard. Ancient martial arts. Ming clan's ancient inheritance. Sky sword. Black dragon. Long Zhanting. The sun. In that instant, the aura of the purple-robed elder was like a purgatory. The grass beneath his feet withered into fine powder, as did all the towering trees within 100 meters. Sky Envoy's corpse also turned into dust in less than half a second. The strength in his body, power of ancient inheritance, decaying power. His triangular eyes slightly narrowed as a cold light flashed in them. Regardless of whether you are a descendant of the Ming clan or a relative of the dragon race, you must die. In that instant, the purple-robed elder disappeared on the spot. Other than the surrounding deathly silence, it was as if nothing had ever happened. A human sovereign island, the immortal master Lu Yuan said anxiously. Master, a month ago, God's tribe sent a golden armor bodyguard and a purple elder into the Zhan Wu continent. I'm afraid they are already here. Not only that, when these descendants of God's tribe return, they will activate the destruction cannon and annihilate the entire realm of the Zhan Wu continent. What should we do? The human emperor's eyes tightened. Purple elder? Immortal master Lu Yuan quickly nodded his head. That's right. It was from God's tribe's spy. Purple Elder is a super powerhouse that possesses the power of the ancient inheritance. He alone is capable of turning a perfect plane into a dead plane. Long Fei will definitely be in danger. Huff! The human emperor heaved a sigh of relief. It looks like I need to make a trip outside. Immortal Master Lu Yuan was secretly shocked. Sir, you... The human emperor said, that brat doesn't know what the power of the ancient inheritance is right now. He doesn't know how to use it. He can't even control it, and his body can't handle it either. If he goes berserk, then he will be destroyed too. I cannot let him ruin it again. I must save him this time. In that instant, the human emperor took a step forward. Buzz. The emperor's chi beneath his feet exploded like a flame. Then, the flames moved as though they were consuming his entire being. In an instant, the figure disappeared. Human Emperor, ancient inheritance, human emperor's fire. Immortal Master Lu Yuan was startled. He was shocked by the human emperor's speed, and suddenly thought of something. Master, do you know Long Fei? Do you know what he looks like? Holy **T. This time, don't recognize the wrong person. That would be terrible. I hope you're not mistaken. Immortal Master Lu Yuan looked into the sky and muttered, don't let anything happen to him this time. With Lord Human Emperor coming out, God's tribe will definitely take him seriously. if his identity is exposed, then he still could not completely confirm Long Fei's identity. If he really is the words of the great demon king in ancient world, then the Emperor Xian could not sit still. The palace. The Zhou Taizu laughed. You're right. The Emperor Zhenwu's realm is awesome, just amazing. How about it? What cards do you have now? Do you still have any cards left? No more? If that's the case. Zhou Taizu's eyes turned sinister as he looked at Zhou Yaozong from the corner of his eyes. Wealth comes from danger. If he did not suppress Long Fei this time, there would be endless trouble in the future. Once he recovered his essence, and recovered so many strange treasures and techniques, Xiao Chongshan would not be his match, and he would definitely not be either. Zhou Yaozong's eyes turned sinister as he clenched his fists. Just when he was about to speak, the corner of Long Fei's mouth curled up as he became excited. At this moment, a powerful force burst out of his body, causing the aura around him to change. He went from the Zhenwu realm to the realm of the great emperor of the true martial realm. He had broken through. Because in that moment, Sky Envoy exploded. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing Sky Envoy for obtaining 9 trillion points of experience, true chi points, 10 million points of arrogant god energy value, 100 points. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining parting cloud power. Do you wish to cultivate it? Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining Grand Mist Crystal. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining Tai Chi Arrogant Form. You wish to fuse it? Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for leveling up. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for reaching the level of perfection and obtaining the special perfection strength. You wish to fuse it? Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for suddenly reaching the peak. Is this flying into the virtual? The system beep-s exploded one after another. It never stopped, looking at the items that dropped one by one, and then looking back at his own experience bar filled up. He was now 100% in stats. This meant that if he still had a level, he could still level up. It was just that it was now restricted. At this moment, Long Fei didn't think too much about it. The 3 big bosses had all been wiped out, so now it was all these small trash's turn. Long Fei looked at Zhou Taizu and said playfully, "What did you say just now? The Emperor Zhenwu's realm is a lot, right? How much is that? Come. Let me see how much you have left in your mouth." Chapter 2645. Let me see how much you have. Chapter 2645. Let me see how much you have. Acting cool. Only lousy can pretend. Other people, they were all smacks in the face. It suddenly leveled up. No one would have thought that Zhou Taizu would have such a stupefied expression. Zhou Yaozong was also confused. In the beginning, he had absolute confidence that he could defeat Long Fei, but now he was no longer confident. The Emperor Zhenwu's realm and the Zhenwu realm were of completely different realms. Although the Zhou Taizu had the strength of the Emperor Zhenwu, they were still inside the Emperor Zhenwu's realm and did not transcend out. You want to suppress Long Fei? Difficult. Zhou Taizu's brows tightened and said, "You broke through." Long Fei could not be bothered with him and said, "Didn't you say that you, true martial emperor, are very nosy? Come, let me see just how strong you are." Zhou Taizu's gaze turned cold as he said solemnly, "Brat, don't think that you're amazing just because you broke through. In my eyes, you're just a cripple. Trash your mom." Long Fei was instantly enraged. In that instant, the power of the Emperor Zhenwu's realm burst out without restraint to the greatest extent. Rumble! 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 As his strength roiled, the space around Long Fei began to shatter. In a flash of lightning, Long Fei took a step forward and stood in front of the Zhou Taizu. Pa! Zhou Taizu was unable to stand steadily and staggered a few steps back. His eyes turned vicious. The aura of the true martial emperor on his body instantly exploded. However, without waiting for him to explode, Long Fei suddenly tensed up without child leg. Bam! Oh! Instantly breaking the technique. Zhou Taizu cried out in pain. Moreover, the most important thing was that in this second, the without child leg had triggered a stun. Damn! You have a 1% chance of catching up. Do you think you're destined to die? Long Fei grinned. Big mouth? It's going to explode. Acting cool in front of me? Is the Emperor Zhenwu's realm powerful? Let's see how amazing he can be. Bam! In the instant that Zhou Taizu was stunned, Long Fei quickly launched another consecutive without child leg attacks. Let's take a look at it. You are always putting on an act. Bang, bang, bang. He retreated with explosive kicks. Too fast. He was completely unable to block it. Zhou Yaozong, who was at the side, stared with flames in his eyes and bellowed, Long Fei, fight it out with you. Kill him. At this instant, Tang Renjia fiercely rushed forward, and King Kong, who had crawled up from the deep pit, did not bother to wipe the blood from the corner of his mouth, and heavily rushed forward, saying, Damn it, your father will not be able to beat Sky Envoy, even if I can't beat you guys. All of them charged forward. However, Long Fei smiled slightly and said, Everyone, don't move. Coincidentally, I just rewarded him with a surge of power. I doubt that I'll be able to use it again in the future. Long Fei grinned, and the idea moved. Fusion with great perfection divine powers. Boom! A power shockwave that was like flames suddenly emerged from Long Fei's body. It directly covered the entire deity. Holy sh**T. Awesome! Long Fei became excited. He thought that even if the great perfection stage of the Zhen Wu continent's power entered the universal realm, it would still be useless. In any case, the Zhen Wu continent had already been destroyed by him. Now, as long as he, the idea, moved, he would be able to use the flying into the virtual and break through the shackles to enter a higher plane. There was no point in keeping it. It would be better to just use a high-leveled skill and destroy all of these dregs. He didn't think of anything else. It was just that. Who would have thought that the divine power of a paragon would be so powerful that it would instantly crush the surrounding people, making them unable to move at all? Scum! Tremble! Long Fei's eyebrows twitched, and he snapped both his fingers. Explode for me! As soon as he finished, bang, 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 Zhou Yaozong's powerhouse of the Zhou family, of the 10 families. As for the personal guards of the Zhao family and the 100s of the Zhenwu realm that the Zhao family had nurtured, they all exploded one by one like firecrackers. At the same time, the system beep flew up. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing Zhou Yaozong for gaining 1 million experience, 1,000 true chi points, and 1 arrogant god energy value point. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing Li Family Patriarch for obtaining 1 million experience points, 10,000 true chi points, and 1 arrogant god energy value point. It kept exploding. However, this experience was truly pitiful. This was also because of the fact that Long Fei had made a breakthrough, causing his experience to plummet. More than 100 Zhen Wu realm powerhouse fell in a minute, all of them dead. Long Fei secretly thought as he looked at the experience trough, how great would it be if I could break through? I just wonder what realm will be after true martial emperor. He watched as one of his subordinates fell to the ground. Long Fei clapped his hands, smiled slightly, and said, Finishing! Then, he directly walked in front of Yorong and said, Yorong, about that, are those words of yours still valid? It's still not dawn yet, so we still have some time. Why don't we find a place to spar? He had always remembered this matter. Yorong. Big. Now that the boss had been completely wiped out and the dregs had been killed, it was time for them to enjoy themselves. Moreover, the golden exclamation mark on top of Yorong's head hadn't been triggered yet, and even after he saved her, he still hadn't been able to trigger, enter her body. Since it was the Seven Meridians painting, this was probably the only way to activate it. Moreover, this was a super quest, and every completion stage would result in a corresponding reward. Yorong was one of the first 7 beauties to appear. Long Fei tried many different methods, but none of them worked. Right now, the only thing left was to penetrate the body and activate it. Yorong's cheeks flushed red. She was a little embarrassed, but she didn't hesitate at all. She looked at Long Fei and said, Fine, I'll listen to you. Wherever you go, I'll go. Tang Renjia let out a long sigh. Xiao Bai's vegetables are going to get stuck. Disperse. Disperse. The wild boar is about to be cooked by Xiao Bai. Yorong was a goddess in Tang Renjia's heart. Long Fei kicked him and said, You are just a wild boar. Do you believe that I will kick your balls to pieces? Tang Renjia pinched both his legs together. The chrysanthemum flower tightened and said, I was wrong, brother. I will leave now. I want to return to my home country of warmth now that I am at the Zhenwu realm. Wouldn't those girls all want to die? Ha ha ha. As he spoke, he prepared to leave. Everyone laughed. The current Zhenwu continent was already being controlled by Long Fei. No one could turn the sky upside down. Everyone relaxed. At this moment, a magic captain was slightly shocked as he said, Master is here. Boom. The demon emperor fell down heavily. He practically fell from the sky, exploding a deep crater on the ground. His clothes were all tattered, and he looked incredibly miserable. Looking at Long Fei, he directly shouted, Long Fei, run! Chapter 2646, Demon Emperor's Succession. Chapter 2646, Demon Emperor's Succession. Suddenly, as everyone was celebrating, the Demon Emperor suddenly descended. Everyone looked at the Demon Emperor with astonishment. Chief Captain quickly stepped forward and helped the Demon Emperor up, saying, Master, Sky Envoy has already been killed by little junior brother. Don't worry. Seeing the Demon Emperor in such a sorry state, Long Fei was secretly a little moved and said, The Sky Envoy is already dead, and now no one in the Zhenwu continent can touch me. He's a bit arrogant, but the truth, right now, the powerhouse of the true martial emperor was not Long Fei's match at all. If he waited for the underworld fire to cool down again, he would be crushed even more. Right, Master, Junior Apprentice Brother, you are awesome. He alone defeated everyone here. Ha ha ha. Brother Demon Emperor, you have come at the wrong time. From today onwards, the Zhenwu continent should be surnamed Long. Ha ha ha. Many people laughed. Even the Sky Envoy was dead. Who else could it be? When the Demon Emperor heard that his Sky Envoy had been killed by Long Fei, his brows tightened. He was extremely shocked in his heart, but in the next second, he was even more worried. You killed Sky Envoy? The Demon Emperor looked at Long Fei and said, Long Fei said, and I will kill. The Demon Emperor heavily said, This is even worse. It's my fault. It's my fault. If I had come earlier, things wouldn't have ended up like this. All right. Hurry up and leave. Get out of here. The farther, the better. To the magic tribe. To the wilderness. Quick, quick, quick. The Demon Emperor's words were a bit incoherent as he quickly urged, Quickly, quickly, quickly. He was incomparably frantic. Long Fei was a little stupefied and said, "What happened in the end? Sky Envoy has already been killed by me, and no one in the entire Zhenwu continent is still my opponent." The Demon Emperor said, "There's no time to explain. Now listen to me and run quickly. Don't stop, enter the wilderness as fast as you can, and then pass through the wildlands to enter the magic tribe. Hurry up." The Demon Emperor's aura suddenly exploded. His long hair fluttered in the wind, and his clothes flapped in the wind as his eyes flashed with anger. He didn't have as much of an explanation as the world did. No second of time could be wasted. Long Fei was secretly shocked. Seeing the Demon Emperor's expression, he knew that the Demon Emperor was not joking. Something must have happened. Immediately, Long Fei replied heavily and said, "Let's go." Tang Renjie was a little unhappy. "Boss, what are you afraid of? If even the Sky Envoyess can do it, then even if the stronger people were to do it all at once, what is there to be afraid of?" The Transformer said in a heavy voice, "If boss says to leave, then leave. Don't talk rubbish with me." The Demon Emperor continued to urge him, "Go, quickly go, hurry up." No one knew what had happened. Why was the Demon Emperor like this? 17th son of Devil had never seen the Demon Emperor's expression in his over 10 years of life. This kind of anxiety must be caused by something big. The great senior brother asked, "Master, what about you?" The Demon Emperor said, "Don't worry about me. Just leave quickly." The great senior brother said, "Master, if you don't leave, The Demon Emperor immediately cursed out, "I told you to leave quickly. Don't make me angry, or else I'll make you suffer. Hurry up. Remember, no matter what happens, you must protect your junior brother." The Demon Emperor looked at Long Fei with the corner of his eyes. He knew clearly in his heart that the powerhouse of God's tribe was definitely here for Long Fei. The demon god had said that Long Fei's identity was extremely special and couldn't be discovered. If the powerhouse of God's tribe finds Long Fei and discovers his identity, then the consequences would be Long Fei could not be discovered. He absolutely could not die. The great senior brother nodded his head heavily and said, "I will definitely protect my junior brother well." "Let's go," the Demon Emperor urged him, then looked at Long Fei and said, "Kid, remember, do not look back this time. There's more. I will do everything I can to open the entrance to the demon realm and enter it. Do you understand?" Long Fei really wanted to know who exactly the Demon Emperor met, but since the Demon Emperor didn't say anything, he didn't think it was appropriate to ask. The task of opening the entrance to the demon world had not yet been completed. This person had to complete his mission, at least before he left the Zhenwu continent. The Demon Emperor looked at the 17th son of the Demon Emperor and said, "Magic captains, listen up." While they were talking, the Demon Emperor took out a token from his chest pocket. Demon Emperor's token. Chief Captain quickly kneeled on the ground, and the other 16 disciples also kneeled and shouted in unison, "Disciple is here." The Demon Emperor said, "From today onwards, Long Fei will be acting as the Demon Emperor. The entire magic tribe must listen to his orders, and your 17th son of Devil must give its all to support Long Fei. Can you do it?" "Huh." Long Fei was stunned and immediately stopped her. Hey, I don't want to be a Demon Emperor." Without waiting for Long Fei to finish, 17th son of Devil said in a heavy voice, "This disciple obeys and will do everything in my power to support the new Demon Emperor." The great senior brother stood up and took the Demon Emperor's token, then walked over to Long Fei's side and said, "Demon Emperor." In an instant, the 16 disciples all knelt down towards Long Fei. Then, a heavy strike. What was this? This was a transfer. Demon Emperor. Long Fei had never wanted to be one of them, and his target was not some demon emperor. The demon emperor looked at Long Fei and said, "From today onwards, the fate of the magic tribe belongs to you. All right, let's go. Hurry up and leave this place and open the entrance to the demon world as soon as possible." The demon emperor did not give Long Fei a chance to reject, and spoke loudly. "Brat, you have to remember this. In this life, sometimes you need to submit. Sometimes you have to submit. Let's go." The demon emperor released a huge aura from his body and directly surrounded Long Fei and the others. Boom! With a slight movement of his aura, he immediately sent them out of the palace. Outside the palace, the Princess Sand Moon waited anxiously. Seeing that Long Fei had appeared, the Princess Sand Moon immediately went forward to welcome him. Long Fei did not explain any further, and said, "Kong Kim, carry Princess Sand Moon, and Kai Lina, and head towards Xian Yu sect immediately." King Kong immediately asked, "Boss, what about you?" Long Fei said, "I want to go back." Without waiting for him to finish speaking, the 17th son of Devil immediately blocked Long Fei's path. The chief captain said, "You can't go back now. You are now the Demon Emperor, so you must leave this place. We won't let you go back, even if we die." "Lord Demon Emperor, let's go." Lucien said slightly, "Long Fei, we should still go." Long Fei's gaze tensed up. It didn't matter if it was his style to leave someone behind. However, in this situation, Long Fei looked at the palace and said with a heavy voice, "Master, you must survive." The voice exploded in the skies above the capital. The Demon Emperor laughed. "Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. You finally called me master. Kid, you finally called me. And then, you won't be able to escape this, right? Ha ha." The Demon Emperor also laughed excitedly and said in a low voice, "Lord Demon God, isn't he tied up with our magic tribe now?" Ha ha ha. For Long Fei, similarly, he also did it for the magic tribe. It was not the magic tribe on the Zhenwu continent, but the magic tribe in the Devil realm. Chapter 2647. Using one's life to buy time. Chapter 2647. Using one's life to buy time, everyone had their own goals in life. The Demon Emperor's goal was to break through the entrance of the demon world and allow the magic tribe on the Zhenwu continent to return to the demon world. He couldn't do it. He had tried countless times, but he couldn't do it. But he knew that Long Fei could do it. Moreover, what the demon god had said had made it even clearer to him that if the magic tribe wanted to truly rise in power, he needed to rely on Long Fei. Long Fei was magic tribe's lifeline. For the sake of the magic tribe's future, the Demon Emperor was willing to pay any price, including his life. Half an hour later, boom, boom, 2 golden rays of light exploded above the divine capital. 2 elders clad in golden armor stood in the air, their eyes filled with indifference as they coldly looked down at God Capital. Inside God Capital, a deity. Look, it's an immortal. The deities are coming. Look at their bodies. They are emitting divine light, and they are clad in golden armor. Are they immortals? This is definitely not a powerhouse of the Zhenwu continent. Even the cultivation of the true martial emperor can't compare to a single hair on their head. Lord Immortal. All of a sudden, all the civilians, warriors, and city guards knelt on the ground and kowtowed. "Taoist immortals, please keep us safe. May we never be homeless. May we never have war. Taoist immortal, I kowtow to you." They were all ordinary citizens. Looking at the golden armor elder in the sky, they thought that a deity had descended. However, the 2 golden armor elders did not even look at the commoners who were kneeling on the ground. At this moment, shwa, a golden light descended and landed directly above the great hall. looking at the mess around him. His gaze tightened as he asked, "You're late?" Next, another golden light descended. Looking at the surrounding corpses, he said, "They are all trash. No one can kill Sky Envoy on this plane. Do you think they are Powerhouse from another plane? It's possible. But, what's the use of killing a Sky Envoy? Is he concealing something? Or is he protecting something?" The Golden Armor Elder said, "You'll know when you find him." The aura of the superforce of Ming Clan had appeared on this plane, so he might really be a bastard from a descendant of the Ming Clan. Golden Armor Elder looked at him disdainfully. "Let's go. Go find them." Just when they wanted to leave, the Demon Emperor said with a heavy tone, "Hey." The two Golden Armor Elders looked around. They had noticed the existence of the Demon Emperor from the start, but they couldn't help but feel disdain as they heard the Demon Emperor's voice. "It's him. He's not dead yet." The two figures moved and descended. The Demon Emperor was extremely shocked because he was clearly pointing in the opposite direction, but the two Golden Armor Elders circled the Zhen Wu continent once. This speed, too terrifying. "Oh, he's not dead yet. How is it? Little friend, is my pill delicious?" "Ha ha ha." Golden Armor Elder laughed out loud. Another old man frowned and said softly, "He arrived here before us, that is to say. We seem to have been fooled by him." "Huh." Golden Armor Elder reacted and said in shock, "That's right, you're actually messing with us." The Demon Emperor faintly smiled. "Who are you? You were able to play with me, so why can't I play with you?" Golden Armor Elder squinted. Boom. Without waiting for the Demon Emperor to respond, a massive force shot down from the sky. Rumble! The Demon Emperor's divine sense was about to explode. With a put-on, he fell to his knees. A mouthful of blood sprayed out. A single aura had crushed him to the point where he couldn't move at all. "This power, too terrifying," Golden Armor Elder said coldly. "You are nothing but an ant." Then, the two of them also prepared to leave. This was because the Demon Emperor didn't even have the qualifications to die in their hands. "Ha ha ha." The Demon Emperor laughed out wildly. "The powerhouse of God's tribe is only this strong. I thought they were so strong, but isn't that kind of power?" The two Golden Armor Elders looked at each other, and their eyes darkened. Rumble! The Demon Emperor, who had just crawled up from the ground earlier, kneeled on the ground once again. The kneecap had shattered, his heart meridian had ruptured, and his consciousness had shattered. However, the Demon Emperor still wore a disdainful smile on his face. The idea moved. "Ha ha ha. God's tribe dog." Golden Armor Elder was angered. "A mere ant, you don't even have the qualifications to die in my hands, but you're pissing me off, you're going to die." In that instant, Golden Armor Elder moved. Shwa! As his fingers turned into swords, a sword energy shot towards the space between the Demon Emperor's eyebrows. At this moment, the Demon Emperor excitedly smiled and said, "I was just afraid that you wouldn't come." Got explosion. Open. Rumble. From the start until now, the Demon Emperor hadn't used his power to leave. He had been waiting the entire time, waiting for the moment the Golden Armor Elder would make a move to kill him. The divine sense was to be used as a guide. Strength is fire. At this moment, the inside of the Demon Emperor's body was like a bomb that had been crushed. Power wildly gathered and surged into his body, frantically multiplying. The moment Golden Armor Elder appeared, the Demon Emperor smiled. "Ha ha ha. Die. Rumble." Divine explosion. His strength soared to the heavens as the peak power of the Emperor Zhenwu's realm erupted. His entire being shook violently, and the area within millions of kilometers around him trembled. It was incomparably shocking. The Golden Armor Elder was also secretly surprised. She never thought that the Demon Emperor would use his own soul to detonate the bomb on his body. Not even ghosts. His primal was shattered. His soul had shattered. Everything will disappear. Complete death. Golden Armor Elder's gaze tensed up, and in that moment, a trace of anger ignited in his heart. The power of the blood vein on his body suddenly moved, and his entire body was enveloped in a golden light as he said solemnly, "Do you think you can kill me just like that? You're just an ant." From head to toe, the powerful explosion of Emperor Zhenwu's power did not harm Golden Armor Elder at all. The difference in strength was too great. They weren't even on the same level. Even a godly explosion would be the same. Of course, the Demon Emperor had never thought of killing the powerhouse of God's tribe either. What he wanted to do was to buy as much time as possible for Long Fei. Rumble! 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 An earth-shaking explosion. Long Fei suddenly stopped. 17th son of Devil also suddenly stopped. Long Fei clenched his fists tightly, and his teeth chattered loudly. 17th son of Devil shed tears one by one. All of their eyes were filled with rage. They didn't know what had happened, but they knew their master was gone. Long Fei moved and said solemnly, "Fuck you. Alien Legion. Suicide attacks." Chapter 2648, Killing the God Capital. Chapter 2648, Killing the God Capital. Long Fei did not know what had happened. However, his heart sank at the sound of the explosion. The Demon Emperor he didn't want to believe it. However, at this moment, he could vaguely guess who it was. Someone who could make the Demon Emperor use his life to buy time must be the unimaginable powerhouse, the powerhouse of God's tribe. Only the powerhouse of God's tribe could cause others to be so afraid. Did not take back the millions of alien army that had been hiding in the capital. After a loud noise, the movement of Long Fei's idea allowed the army of alien to gain a new target. At the same time, Long Fei said with a heavy voice, "Let's go quickly." Can't stay. He couldn't let the Demon Emperor die in vain. He couldn't just waste the half an hour that he had bought for them. "Master, don't worry, I'll definitely avenge you. If I don't kill these God's tribe dogs, I swear I will not be a human." The killing intent in Long Fei's heart was abnormally strong. The Black Dragon's death had displeased him. The things he said made him unhappy. Now, the death of the Demon Emperor made Long Fei even more unhappy. The God's tribe represented the gods in the universal realm, represents the day. Long Fei looked up into the sky, his fists clenched tightly as he said solemnly, "I will break your chrysanthemum." Whoosh! Swiftly leaping forward, he swiftly escaped. It was also at this moment the alien army started to rush into the imperial palace like floodwaters and directly self-destructed the moment they reached Golden Armor Elder's side, without even thinking about it. It was a suicide attempt. Boom, boom, boom. The explosion of millions of alien. It covered the sky and covered the earth, filling up half of the sky above the imperial palace. Everyone outside the palace was stupefied. "What are you doing? Is anyone fighting against the deities?" Those demon beasts did not touch a single commoner just now. Why are they bombarding us like crazy? Yeah. Is there anyone in this world who dares to fight against deities? Isn't this courting death? Who can win against the gods? He's overestimating himself. Who cares who he is? It's fine as long as he isn't us. The huge palace turned into a bloody mist, the blood flowing in rivers on the ground, and broken limbs scattered everywhere. The entire great hall was like a huge pool of blood. 2 golden armor elder stood in the middle with golden light enveloping them. The 2 of them were getting angrier and angrier. The demon emperor's self-detonation had left them in a bad mood. Now it was this group of demon beast that covered the sky once again. Moreover, they can't move yet. The damage of these demon beasts was not high, but there were several million of them here, and their power was so great that they had no choice but to stay under the golden shield. Anger was rising. One by one, they climbed higher and higher. A mere peripheral plane. A lower realm actually dares to resist the god's tribe. He dares to kill Sky Envoy. He dares to attack us. It's the opposite. It's the opposite. The faces of the 2 golden armor elder were extremely ugly, as if they had been humiliated in some way. They were the descendant of God's tribe. They were the golden armor elder. In this lower realm, they were supreme. They were gods. They were the heavens. Who would dare to resist them? Boom. A loud sound echoed out. Suddenly, a golden armor elder leapt fiercely and charged tens of thousands of meters into the sky. He broke through the alien army's suicide bombings and hovered in the air, looking at God Capital with contempt. When the commoners saw the golden armor elder flying into the sky, they immediately kneeled and kowtowed again. A deity, I said that no one is a match for the deities. Ha ha ha. Lord Taoist Immortals, bless us. Lord Taoist Immortal, please bestow a wife to me. Please give me 10 wives. Everyone prayed. The space between golden armor elders' eyebrows moved slightly as his right hand lightly sprinkled outwards. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Asterisk, whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Asterisk, 100 elixirs flew out. Each and every one of them was like falling stars. All the citizens of God Capital were going crazy. Elixir, it's the elixir, the immortal elixir. Ha ha ha. Thank you, Lord Deity. Mine, the elixir is mine. Immortals are truly great. What a merciful bodhisattva. 100 elixir were robbed at every corner of the capital. It was a mess. At this moment, boom, bang, with a loud noise, a person who had snatched the elixir swallowed it into his mouth. In that instant, his body turned into powder. Half of the gods were destroyed. Next, another loud sound rang out. Rumble, rumble, rumble. Elixirs exploded one after another, and even the sky above God Capital exploded. Originally, it was a 10,000-year-old ancient city, but now tens of millions of commoners, all wiped out. The God Capital was destroyed. The area within 100,000 kilometers was a complete mess. No one was alive, not even a living ant. The army of the opposite sex had all died. The queen of the opposite sex did not escape. The old man, the child, and the martial artist were all dead. Not even their corpses were left behind. They had all turned into fine powder. Not only that, the entire plain of the Zhan Wu continent seemed to be splitting apart. A 10,000-meter deep fissure appeared. The fissure continued to expand as lava boiled within the depths of the fissure. The whole of Zhaoguo's territory had become a graveyard. All of you must die. In just a short hour, tens of millions of people died, and over 100 million lives. They did not even bat an eye. In the gods' tribe's eyes, everything was an ant. Where was the slightest bit of sympathy? They wished that they could kill everyone in the Zhan Wu continent. Golden Armor Elder said coldly, "How dare you be so presumptuous in front of us? Trash from the lower planes should be taught a lesson. Let them know who is God and who is heaven." Another Golden Armor Elder said ruthlessly. Then one of the Golden Armor Elder said softly, but Now that everyone's dead, where are we going to find them now? Huh. I forgot about that. What do we do now? At this moment, a voice rang out. The expressions of the two golden armor elder immediately changed. As if they were facing a great enemy, they stood to the side in awe, not daring to move. The South right. Xianyu sect. And then, 2 years later, Golden Armor Elder turned into a ball of light and swiftly rushed to the south. God Capital's explosion resounded throughout the entire Zhenwu continent. The entire continent shook violently. Tang Renjie asked, "Was it the explosion caused by the alien demon beast?" "Damn! Boss, that alien army is too fierce." Long Fei shook his head and said, "No, I'm afraid not a single thing is left in the entire God Capital." Alien Queen also disappeared from his beast space. In other words, he could either turn traitor or die. It was impossible for him to rebel. There was only one possibility. He was dead. He didn't even have the chance to react to the explosion. Long Fei's heart sank. What kind of expert is he exactly? What kind of powerhouse is it? Tang Renjie said slightly, "Boss, my nose is sharp. Why not let me go back and take a look? Even a god can have so many beautiful girls. If I could save some, then I would feel good for the rest of my life, right?" Long Fei said, "No one can go back. No one can. Listen to my command. Full power attack." Even though he couldn't remember, but the super underworld snake in secret area of deep hell was killed by him with a single slap. Just with this power, one could only imagine. He didn't know how to activate it. If he could activate it, then was there a need to escape? Gui Qingshan and Yi Lucian immediately stood up and said, "No, I can't let you take the risk alone." Yi Lucian said, "You are now my son-in-law and I am your half a father. How can I let you take the risk? We won't leave either." Xiao Dai got up and said, "Along, I'm going to follow by your side anyway." Thin Monkey said, "Boss, you gave me everything that we have. Since you're telling us to leave at this time, then just beat me to death. Otherwise, I definitely would not leave." The 17th son of the Demon Emperor also said, "You are now the Demon Emperor. Our mission is to protect you. This is what Master told us to do. We will do it even if we die. Yes, no matter what kind of powerhouse we meet here, no matter what happens tomorrow, we won't leave." "That's right. Boss, can you not chase us away? Please." Everyone looked at Long Fei, none of them wanting to leave. It was even more impossible for them to leave at this time. Yurong slightly said, "In the past, you always carried everything by yourself, but now we will shoulder everything together, no matter what happens, all right?" Long Fei was secretly moved in his heart, looking at these brothers. Long Fei's heart was truly satisfied. Although there were many things that he couldn't recall due to the seal, he was very happy during his time in Zhenwu continent. He was happier than he had been on Earth for 20 years. Brothers and women. It was enough for his entire life. However, Long Fei was willing to shoulder everything alone. Looking at these people, Long Fei let out a long sigh. All right. Everyone also let out a long sigh. Long Fei said, "You all should hurry up and recover your true essence. We will enter the Xianyu mountain range in an hour and then send someone over to enter the wilderness." This was the fastest route. However, an hour of rest was too little. There simply wasn't enough true essence to recover, but they didn't have much time left. Long Fei also sat cross-legged. Yurong leaned on his shoulder and softly said, "Long Fei, no matter what happens, don't leave me, okay?" Long Fei said indifferently, "Don't worry." Yurong smiled lightly. Long Fei opened up the system and looked. Demon Realm entrance, quest. If there's no hint, how do I get through? Magic Mountain. Magic Mountain must be hiding something. I need to hurry up and enter the magic tribe's territory. I'm still too weak. If I were strong enough, I wouldn't let my woman, my brother, suffer with me. Long Fei secretly clenched his fists. Yurong gently held Long Fei's arm, his face full of happiness. Even if it was the end of the world, she would laugh. Chapter 2650. Come here, let me show you a baby. Chapter 2650. Come here, let me show you a baby. Long Fei had never forgotten about the tomb detected by the 16 words secret feng shui. Once in the Xianyu sect, in the Xianyu mountain range, he also detected something, and it was, these two tombs should be the same. What was in the tomb? Whose tomb was it? Long Fei was not sure either, but he was sure that there was a big guy inside that had dark unicorn guarding him. Although Long Fei did not believe it, but according to the dark unicorn, the person inside the grave was the #1 war god in Ming clan, the Netherworm. If that was the case, then it would be dangerous to go in. However, Long Fei didn't have time. The two golden armor elders were about to attack. They already had no time to escape, unless there was a shortcut. The Xianyu's secret territory was a shortcut. If they could pass through the secret world and directly enter the depths of the Xianyu mountain range, it would vanish into thin air. Even if the golden armor elder was an expert of the gods' tribe, it would not be easy for them to find them as soon as possible in such a large plain. This was the only way out. If he didn't go in, he would just be waiting for death. If he went in, he would still be able to take a gamble. Immediately, Long Fei immediately said, "Everyone, listen up. Everyone enter the Xianyu's secret territory." Yurong was slightly taken aback. Xianyu's secret territory? Do you want to go back in? That place is dangerous too. You've said it before, there are extremely dangerous fellows on the lower level. If we enter, Yurong was a little worried. She was the only one who entered the Xianyu's secret territory, so she knew what was down there. Long Fei asked, "What was your cultivation at that time?" Yurong replied, "The essence refinement realm." Long Fei asked again, "Then what is the current realm? We are already in the Zhenwu realm. What is there to be afraid of?" "Listen to me. Everyone enter the secret world, quickly." Long Fei quickly urged. Time was limited. If he didn't make it in time, it would be too late. Yurong reacted and said, "In the past, it was because our cultivation was too low, and now we are all Zhenwu realm. What are we afraid of?" Immediately, Yurong also followed. "Everyone follow me, quickly." Xianyu's secret territory had never opened since the last incident. Always closed. Yurong was the first to enter Xianyu's secret territory and shouted loudly, "Hurry up!" Next, a large number of disciples drilled into the Xianyu's secret territory. Tang Renjia's brows tightly knitted and said, "There is still a minute, boss. Hurry up and go in." Transformers did not move. Kailina did not move. Xiao Dai, the thin monkey, the big-sized man, and the Demon Emperor's 17 sons did not move. Long Fei looked at each and every one of them and knew exactly what they wanted to do. "If you guys don't want to go in, then I won't. Since you want to die, then die." If these people were all dead, then Long Fei would be the only one left alive. Transformer scratched his head. "Boss, Long Fei bellowed and said, "Cut the crap. Go in, all of you. As long as you enter the secret world, they won't be able to catch you. At that time, I will be able to deal with them." "Uncle Gui, Uncle, what do you want? You want to die for me? All of you go in, do you hear? If you don't want your daughter to be widowed, you can go in." Not at all. Long Fei was too clear on what they were thinking in their hearts. They all wanted to buy time for Long Fei's retreat. They both wanted to be the same as the Demon Emperor. At first, Long Fei didn't know what the Demon Emperor wanted to do. If he knew that the Demon Emperor was courting death, no matter what, Long Fei would give it his all. Now, he knew. Then he couldn't let the people beside him throw their lives away for him. Gui Qingshan's expression slightly darkened and said, "Kid, you're still very young and have a lot of future prospects. We're all very old now, so if we die, we die." Long Fei said, "So what? Do I agree that you are dead? If I don't agree, even the king of hell wouldn't want you to die. If you do not go in now, I will immediately rush out of Xianyu sect. Do you believe me?" Long Fei's aura moved. At this moment, he had to force himself to die. He clearly didn't have to die, and he still had the chance. Why didn't he try? Gui Qingshan and Yi Lucian looked at each other, their eyes tensed up, and then said, "Okay, we'll listen to you." The two shouted together, "Enter the secret world. Hurry up. Everyone, go in." Hundreds of Zhen Wu realm warriors all entered the secret world. Long Fei looked at Transformers and the others and said, "Quickly go in. What are you waiting for?" Transformers said, "Boss, what about you?" Long Fei glared. "Is your boss my boss? I told you to hurry up and go in to get that much bullshit." The Transformers was unwilling, but he still managed to enter the secret world. Tang Renjia also quickly retreated and said, 30 more seconds. The enemy is here." Long Fei said, "Go in." Tang Renjia did not stop at all and said, "Understood, I'll enter right now." In less than 3 minutes, all of Xianyu sect's disciples, as well as those who had escaped from the Divine City, had entered the secret world. Now, only Long Fei was left. Long Fei stood at the secret world's entrance, his eyes staring straight at the 2 golden lights in the distance. He did not know if it was the boss's halo or the halo of power on their bodies. If it was a boss aura, then these 2 bosses were too fierce and their levels were too high. If it dropped, it would definitely drop a great item. Boom, boom. 2 voices sounded out heavily. The entire Xianyu sect trembled slightly. In that instant, F*CKU, the entire arena instantly fell silent. Long Fei slightly said, "If I let you in, I'll definitely let you leave." "Leave? How can I leave? This secret world has no other exit. How can we leave?" "Long Fei, while you have helped us before, it does not mean that you can decide our fate. You clearly know the outcome of going against the gods' tribe. From now on, I want to draw a clear line between us." "Me too. Me too. We can't follow him anymore. If we follow him, we'll be walking towards death." Many people stood up. There were many Zhenwu realm powerhouse among them. They were all Gui Qingshan's men. Gui Qingshan's eyes narrowed and said, "What do you want to do? You want to rebel? Who gave you all such cultivation?" "You all." A man said, "General, thank him for the power he has bestowed upon us, but our lives are our own. I don't want to die with him." "Me too. You're right. He gave it to us. We have already repaid him in God's name." Suddenly, more and more people joined in to stand opposite of Long Fei. Many disciples from the Xianyu sect stood over, and all of a sudden, only 20-odd people remained by Long Fei's side. "I feel that there might be a trap inside, and it's very likely that it's a trap set up by the Netherworm. However, although the Xianyu secret territory's entrance has been destroyed, it is not difficult for the Golden Armor bodyguard to reopen the entrance with his power. It is just that it will take a bit of time. The most important thing is to do it. We must quickly pass the secret world before they can react. If Long Fei and the others entered the secret world, it would create a false impression that they were hiding inside the secret world, and that way the Golden Armor Elder would not be in too much of a hurry to make a move. Long Fei and the others quickly passed through the secret world and exited from the other side. By the time the Golden Armor Elder entered the secret world, maybe they had already reached the magic tribe. At this moment, Tang Renjie's nose slightly moved, his body tensed up, and he immediately said, "The netherworld, a Dumbra flower. Roar!" A beast whose entire body was burning with nether flames heavily pounced over with a huge body that gave off an aura of a vicious beast. Ilyoshian's eyes tensed up. "Dark unicorn? Is there really a beast like the Qilin in this world?" The Transformers' eyes were filled with rage. His 3 heads and 6 arms moved, and the staff in his hands suddenly turned red. He wanted to smash it down. Wait! Long Fei stopped Transformers. At this time, the dark unicorn directly pounced to Long Fei's side, supported Long Fei's leg, and rolled around beside him, continuously saying, "Boss, you finally came. It's been so long, I thought you had long forgotten about me." Everyone was shocked and dumbfounded. Only Yurong knew what was going on. Long Fei smiled slightly and said, "I've been too busy, so I don't have time to come in." "How about it? How is everything I told you to do?" Yu Yi immediately said while looking at Long Fei with a serious face, "I've investigated thoroughly. The lower level is a secret space, and inside it are all evil beings. Even though it carries a netherworld, a Dumbra aura, I can guarantee that it's definitely not Ming Clan's demon beast. There is an extremely huge power in that secret space. I don't dare to get too close to it. That power is too powerful. I've never seen such a strong power." Long Fei slightly nodded and thought to himself, that should be the place where the coffin is kept. "I just don't know. Is the person lying inside the coffin still a demon, a god, or a ghost?" The dark unicorn said, "That secret space is very special, boss. You must not enter, as once you do, you will be immediately devoured." And Long Fei asked, "And what?" The dark unicorn muttered for a long time before replying, "Nothing." He wasn't sure, because he had heard the dragons roar coming from the secret space before, so there shouldn't be any dragons roar. The netherworm was just a name, and he wasn't a dragon. How could he not be happy? As long as this power could be brought back to the gods' tribe, the position of the gods' tribe would be consolidated, and the power of the Emperor Xian would become even stronger. Golden Armor Elder said, "That's right, we brothers are going to make a move now. As long as we bring him back to God's tribe, he will definitely reward us with ancient inheritance's power, and at that time we can also ascend to the position of elders." Ha ha ha, ha ha ha. The 2 of them laughed excitedly, and then one of them said, "The entrance to the secret world has been destroyed. We need to reopen the entrance to the secret world now. This matter is easy to handle. Leave it to me." The Golden Armor Elder walked forward and narrowed his eyes. The divine light around his body suddenly exploded, and his hands inserted into the air, he began to search for the gaps between the secret world S. He used the opening as the entrance and reopened the entrance. In the Xianyu secret territory. They're inside. What do we do now? I don't want to die here. Why not? We will look for the secret world's exit and let him enter. This is considered our achievement. So he should let us go, right? I agree. Powerhouse of God's tribe is not an unreasonable person. If we help him, he will definitely let us go. All right. Everyone move out together. Long Fei, after half a minute, all of the 10,000-year-old zombies in the plaza woke up. Crack! A crisp sound rang out, as if the needle on the clock had moved. Next, the eyes of those zombies suddenly glowered, and the coldness in their eyes was menacing, incomparable savagery. Evil and savage auras crazily pounced over, and the entire secret world instantly turned into a purgatory. And at this moment, the 10,000-year zombies started to move, surging towards Long Fei, and the others. It was no different from the waves of zombie in the movies. The only difference was that these 10,000-year zombies were much more powerful. Long Fei's gaze tensed up, and he said solemnly, "It's starting." "Calm down." Transformers stepped forward slightly and stood on Long Fei's left. The big-sized man also took a step forward, standing on Long Fei's right. One on the left and the other on the right, they were like diamond protectors, and both of them had their eyes fixed on the zombie that was charging towards them. Huff. Phew. Inhale. Long Fei clenched both his fists. With a move of his right hand, the underworld thunder appeared in his hands. And then the corner of Long Fei's mouth curled up, and he said faintly, "Although I can't level up, I can still increase my experience. Maybe after entering the higher planes, I'll be able to directly level up. If that's the case, then—" Long Fei laughed lightly. "Old Qin, even if these are your guards, the terracotta soldiers, we all come from the same plane, but there is nothing we can do about it. Brothers!" Long Fei shouted loudly, and then said heavily, "Explode all of your strongest powers. One wave rush. Kill." As soon as he finished, Transformers and the big-sized man took the lead and rushed out. The three-headed, six-armed King Kong swept out with its huge club like a demon king, directly knocking over a large number of zombies. But it did not kill. Zombies belonged to the immortal type of evil creatures, so they were not that easy to kill. However, the attacks coming from behind caught up with them, and the HP of the zombies above their heads frantically fell. They were completely unable to defend against the attacks. If it was before, if Long Fei had recklessly entered, he would not have been able to hold on for even a second and would have been instantly killed. But now, they were all the valiant powerhouse of the Zhenwu realm. All of them were like fierce tigers. Crazy slaughter. The lightning on the underworld thunder wildly raged. At the same time, the system beat began to go berserk. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing 10,000-year zombie, for obtaining 100,000 experience, 1,000 true chi points, and 1 arrogant god energy value point. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing 10,000-year zombie. Reward: 100,000 experience points, 1,000 true chi points, 1 arrogant god energy value point. It exploded in a frenzy. These people were too valiant. Half an hour later, the 10,000-year zombie formation was completely destroyed. Long Fei stood at the lowest entrance level and lightly exhaled. First Emperor Qin's tomb? Or is it the grave of the Netherworm? Or something else? I heard that the first emperor has the Yin soldier undying seal on his body. If it's true, I can only hope that it really is old Qin's grave. Hee hee. Long Fei's gaze tightened and said, "Enter." Chapter 2654. Azure Dragon Pulling the Coffin. Chapter 2654. Azure Dragon pulling the coffin. He didn't think too much about it. Whatever was inside had to go in. Moreover, Long Fei was looking forward to it. What if there was a big boss inside? "Enter," Long Fei faintly said. The dark unicorn immediately rushed forward and said, "Boss, the aura inside is too dangerous. Should we—" Tang Renjia's nose twitched and said, "The aura inside is indeed very terrifying and is an aura that I have never felt before. The aura of power that does not belong to this world." Everyone looked at Long Fei. Long Fei secretly frowned and said, "I'll go in and scout out the way first, then come out and call for you guys." Transformers immediately said, "Boss, I'll go." Without waiting for Long Fei to stop it, the Transformers rushed in. Buzz. Its huge body was engulfed by the black vortex. Long Fei's heart tightened. He was no longer in a hurry to stop them. Seeing Transformers being swallowed, Long Fei could not help but become worried. Yurong stepped forward. "Don't worry, Kong Kim's cultivation has reached the Emperor Zhenwu's realm after exploding out. He should be fine." Yurong walked over to Long Fei's side. Princess San Moon also walked over and said, "Don't worry." Gue Qingshan shot Xiao Dai a glance and lowered his voice. Go, Xiao Dai, you go as well?" Xiao Dai was a little confused. He looked at the corner of Gue Qingshan's eyes and couldn't help but ask, "Father, why are the corners of your eyes constantly twitching? Are you okay?" Gue Qingshan's forehead was covered in black lines. "I'm fine." "Oh," Xiao Dai said softly and muttered, "Why are your eyes popping out?" "I thought your eyelids were cramping." Gue Qingshan wanted to cry, but no tears came out. He really wanted Xiao Dai to become Long Fei's woman. However, Xiao Dai was missing a muscle. However, Xiao Dai was not an idiot. How could she not understand? But to her, being able to look at Long Fei quietly from behind was enough. A few minutes later, there were no movements. Transformers did not come out. Long Fei could not sit still any longer. Looking at the entrance of the black whirlpool, he continuously released his spirit chi and poured into it. He felt as if he was instantly swallowed up. He couldn't feel anything at all. Tang Renjia frowned and said faintly, "It's very strange." Long Fei said, "Why is it strange?" Tang Renjia said, "Obviously King Kong went in, but the energy in that space did not fluctuate at all. It's too strange." The Dark Unicorn also added, "That's right, there's really not the slightest bit of change." At this moment, the big bloke took a step forward and said, "I'll go in and take a look." Boom. He was afraid that Long Fei would stop him, so he instantly charged into the mouth. The vortex of darkness engulfed everything. The big bloke also instantly entered. Long Fei's expression tightened, and immediately said, "Without my order, you are not allowed to enter without permission." And then Long Fei looked at Tang Renjia and asked, "Can you feel the big size guy's chi?" Tang Renjia shook his head again and said, "No, it's too strange. This secret world is too strange. It seems this entrance leads to countless secret world." Why is this happening? An entrance led to a secret world, but this entrance gave Tang Renjia a feeling as though he had entered countless secret worlds. It felt like it was random, and he had no idea where it would lead to. And then again, the dangerous aura Tang Renjia sensed was just like a reflection in a mirror. He could see it, but he just could not enter it. Chief Captain walked over and said, "Junior brother, I'll go take a look." "No way." Long Fei immediately stopped him and said, "This secret world is a little strange. We can't recklessly enter." Tang Renjia said, "It's indeed strange. Even if they were to go in, they would probably be able to come out, but they didn't even have any reactions when they went in. I feel that they would either be lost or bound by some kind of forbidden force, or maybe they already—" Xiao Dai immediately glared and shouted, "You crow mouth, you dare talk nonsense. I will tear your mouth to shreds." Tang Renjia immediately shut his mouth. "I'll go in." Lucien walked over and said, "I'll tie a rope around my body. I'll come out as soon as I get in." At this time, Long Fei had no other choice. Lucien walked to the front. Long Fei reminded him, "Uncle be careful." Yurong said worriedly, "Father, you must be careful." Lucien smiled faintly and said, "Relax, I will be careful." He tied the rope and strode into the entrance. Black vortex engulfing. The rope was slowly being brought inside. However, 10 seconds later, the rope suddenly stopped moving. Gui Qingshan's eyes became serious. He immediately stepped forward and pulled the rope back. And then, the other end of the rope was undone. Yorong's eyes tensed up and suddenly shouted out, "Father!" At this moment, she didn't have time to think about that many instants as she rushed in. "Yorong!" Long Fei also shouted out, wanting to stop him, but it was too late. Watching Yorong entering the black vortex, Long Fei's heart turned sinister. Buzz. Yorong disappeared. Tang Renjia still shook his head. "I have yet to reach that place." None of them reached that place. "This place is too strange. Boss, I suggest we retreat first." Xiao Dai said, "We have no other choice." Could this really be the necropolis that Sister E spoke of? The necropolis that leads to the underworld? Why did so many people disappear when they went in? Xiao Dai was extremely worried. Everyone felt a shiver in their hearts. The netherworld, the realm of death. Long Fei was a little angry in his heart and scolded in his heart, "I'll just see what kind of damned thing you have inside. Even if it's the underworld, I'll still beat him up." And then Long Fei looked at the rest of the people and said, "You are not allowed to enter without my order. Before I come out, you absolutely can't go in. Wait for me here, and wait for them to come out as well. You understand?" He wanted to go in. Long Fei could not take it anymore. One by one, they disappeared into the water. It was as if a stone had been thrown into water. There wasn't even a splash. What was this called? F***me. It doesn't matter if he is the grave of the netherworm or the tomb of the first emperor. And then Long Fei gave them a heavy look and said, "Remember what I said, do not come in." He stepped into the dark entrance. Buzz. Long Fei's body was engulfed by the darkness energy. In that instant, Long Fei felt as if he had appeared in an ethereal world of darkness. It was dark here. Nothing. He could not feel any presence at all. He turned around to look at the entrance. The entrance had also disappeared. Long Fei's eyes were shocked. He roared, "Who cares if you're a god or a demon? Come out!" In the dark abyss, an aura suddenly roiled out, and then a malevolent creature appeared. A dragon, Azure Dragon. He pulled a huge coffin with him. Chapter 2655. We'll let you go to heaven. Chapter 2655. We'll let you go to heaven. Walala. 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 With the sound of space being torn apart, fissures began to appear one after another. Next, powerful energy surged out from the crack. A huge hole was torn open in the space. "It's connected. Ha ha ha. It's connected. It's connected. Powerhouse of God's tribe has opened up this boundary." The Xianyu sect disciples and the 100 over Zhen Wu realm powerhouse started to boil. At the same time, they all knelt in front of the crack in boundary, more respectful than a grandson to their grandfather. Not long later, a golden armor elder walked out with an ice-cold look in his eyes. Seeing so many people kneeling in front of him, he curled his lips and laughed sinisterly. He was extremely disdainful. Of course, if these people did not release their chi just now to let him feel the location of the secret world, it would have been impossible to open up the connection to the secret world so quickly. These dregs. Golden Armor Elder laughed coldly. "Welcome, Presbyter of God's tribe. Welcome, Presbyter of God's tribe. Welcome, Presbyter of God's tribe." They tried their best to make the loudest sounds they could. Their faces were red as they kneeled on the ground and shouted in unison, extremely fierce. At this time, another Golden Armor Elder walked in, and seeing this situation, he disdainfully sneered. "Where did that kid go?" Golden Armor Elder immediately asked. An old man said, "They have entered the next level of secret world. Huh. The golden armor elder immediately looked towards the great hall in the distance. His eyes narrowed as he laughed. It really is the aura of the Ming clan. I never thought that the Zhanwu continent would actually hide remnants of the Ming clan. Lord, they want to use this place to get out through another exit, and get rid of you. A man said. Golden armor elder sneered. You still want to escape? Humph. He's overestimating himself. A Xianyu sect elder said. Master is right. He is a thing that does not know his place. He has always been arrogant and does not put anyone in his eyes, even you, Master, in his eyes. We did not see him as anything, and because of this we split up with him, and he actually wants to go against you. Going against God's tribe is going against the heavens. Is he trying to court death? Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. Golden armor elder laughed out loud, looked at the man, and said, You are right. Opposing God's tribe is opposing the heavens. Not bad, not bad. You have a reward. When the Xianyu sect elder heard the word reward, his eyes lit up and he immediately became excited. He immediately cowed out and said, Thank you, Master, thank you, Master. His head was about to burst, not even when they met their ancestors. Golden armor elder waved his right hand, and an elixir flew in front of the Xianyu sect elder. Looking at the elixir in front of him, he never thought that there would be such a day when the powerhouse of God's tribe would reward him with an elixir. How much power did it contain? Eating one might even break the shackles of flying into the virtual. The eyes of the surrounding people all stared straight at him, filled with envy, jealousy, and hatred. The other elders also said, Sir, I am willing to be the vanguard to capture that boy. Lord, that kid is courting death. They want to enter the magic tribe. Lord, with a single word from you, I'll immediately kill him. My lord. He called her master, and master, calling her master even more intimately than his own father. The pills of God's tribe. A golden pill. Who doesn't want it? This could be the greatest opportunity of their lives. An opportunity that could soar into the heavens. Who would want to miss it? One by one, they began to kowtow in a frenzy. The two golden armor elders laughed and said, Good, good, good. Come, come, come. I'll give these elixir to you, then. This is your fortune. Ha ha ha. While they were talking, a bunch of elixir S and a handful of elixir S were scattered around. Those people who were kneeling on the ground were fighting over them. They were all moved to tears. My lord, you are my living parents. My lord, you are even more intimate than my ancestor. Lord, I love you. My lord, you are the living bodhisattva. Golden armor elders said lightly, All right, this is none of your business. Hurry up and go cultivate. This elixir's power can let you go up to the sky. Another golden armor elder almost laughed out loud. The disciples, elders, and 100 Zhanwu realm powerhouse as all walked out of the secret world grateful to the heavens. Powerhouse of God's tribe is a good person. Adults are good people. Great. I have never seen anyone better than them. What does Long Fei count as? At most, Long Fei only allowed us to reach the Zhanwu realm. So can we compare to this elixir? That's right. Not only spare us, you even gave us your elixir. Great. They were all moved to tears. These people walked out of secret world. Some people could not help but look at the elixir in their hands and asked, What rank is this elixir at? Are they going to directly ascend after eating? Let me give it a try first. Ha ha ha. You can't hold it in any longer, right? I'll give it a try too. Brothers, only death awaits us if we follow Long Fei. Let's see how wise our choice is with this elixir. Even if we can't break through, we are definitely the leaders of the Zhanwu continent, the strongest king. Come, let's kill this elixir together. All of a sudden, Everyone raised the elixir in their hands and shouted, "Come, let's do it." He raised the elixir in his hand and put it in his mouth. The mouth closed. Closing his eyes, he felt the fusion of the elixir, and a strong power started surging within him. Everyone was excited. He felt that he was about to achieve a breakthrough and become the strongest person in the world. At this moment, crack, a strange sound could be heard. Following that, a fiery red light flashed from the throat of a man. His eyeballs suddenly popped out as he let out a blood-curdling screech. Rumble! A loud sound exploded out into the sky. Rumble! 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 Bang! 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 Hundreds of voices. The entire Xian Yu sect had a radius of hundreds of thousands of kilometers and was blasted into flat ground. It was as if the huge sect was flattened by a powerful force. Xian Yu mountain range began to tremble quickly. Powerful vibrating power continued to spread outwards as the volcano erupted, and the earth began to crack. It was like the end of the world. At this time, the two golden armor elders felt the huge impact and started to laugh out loud at the same time. Ha ha ha. What a bunch of dregs. I really thought I could break through flying to make them go to heaven. Ha ha ha. Bullying, endless ridicule. The Golden Armor Elder said, "Calling us God's tribe is bullshit. Saying that our God's tribe is a treacherous and despicable place. Saying that Emperor Xian stole the inheritance power of the ancient world. The victor is the king, and the loser is the bandit. A loser will always find excuses for their failure. It's just an excuse." What else did he say? The Golden Armor Elder's gaze tensed up again. After pondering for a moment, he said, "This place." Golden Armor Elder looked at everything in the hall and glanced around. His frown deepened as he said, "This is a tomb." "Huh. Grave? Whose grave?" Golden Armor Elder shook his head. "It's not written on there, but there's a special reminder here. Only one person can enter, and that person will be the one who will punish God's tribe." Ha 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 ha. Golden Armor Elder immediately laughed. Punishment God's tribe. Let alone people. Even the heavens cannot punish the God's tribe. Who in the universal boundary would dare to challenge the God's tribe? Who in the ancient world would dare? Supreme Emperor Xian, invincible in all realms. Punishment God's tribe. Ha ha ha. It's a joke. The Golden Armor Elder that understood the words on the stone tablet did not laugh, because his forehead creased even more tightly as he muttered, "If everything above is true, then this person sanctions God's tribe. This was a pipe dream. The God's tribe was too powerful. Not only did he control the universal boundary, he also controlled the power of ancient inheritance-s in the ancient world. Just the Emperor Xian alone possessed 1,800 ancient inheritances worth of power. Who could possibly match him? Brother Feng, you can't really believe this, right? That Golden Armor Elder said. The things that are said above are too strange. The person that is said has the ability to transcend the heavens, and the power he possesses can destroy all planes of existence born in the ancient world, which means to say, universal boundary. He can even destroy the myriad minor worlds below universal realm. If it's this kind of power, then even if it's the Emperor Xian, Golden Armor Elder shivered. For some reason, when he thought of this, his heart trembled uncontrollably. A chill went up his spine, for no reason. He couldn't control the cold. Another old man said, "Forget about Emperor Xian, even I have to shatter his body and bones today." While they were talking, when the old man stepped into the realm, he realized that the entrance of the boundary was once again destroyed. All right, let's see where you can escape to. Then, the old man moved both of his hands, the power on his 10 fingers extended out crazily, inserting itself into the air and quickly searching for the gaps between the secret world-s. Another Golden Armor Elder stood in front of the stone tablet. His eyes did not return to normal for a long time. His heart was filled with shock. Is he the person on the monolith? If that's the case. He clenched his fists. Crack. His joints cracked. Then we must not let him live. He hasn't come out yet. What's going on inside? Just now, there was a huge commotion outside. Could it be that powerhouse of God's tribe has already entered? What do we do now? Boss, come out and give me a letter. What's going on inside? They were all anxious. He had been inside for half an hour, yet there was no reply at all. Not just Long Fei. The people who went in were all the same, no one came out, and they had no idea what was going on inside. At this moment, Tang Renjia's forehead suddenly moved. A light flashed past his eyes, and he immediately said, "I found Boss's chi." The eyes of the dark unicorn shone with a bright light. He could sense it too. Everyone immediately surrounded him and asked, "What's the situation?" "Where?" "What happened?" Tang Renjia shook his head. "I don't know the situation inside. I can only feel Boss's aura, only his aura. Moreover, it is inside that mysterious secret world." Xiao Dai's gaze tightened. "Are you talking about that dangerous special secret world?" Tang Renjia nodded his head. "It's there." The dark unicorn's eyes moved and said, "An even more immense aura has appeared. Boss. Boss. Boss aura seems to have been instantly swallowed." In just a second, he had been falling for 10,000 meters. After half an hour, he still had not reached the bottom. Long Fei started to suspect that there was no end to this world. Half an hour passed. His body steadied itself, and he remained motionless. He spread out his spiritual sense and quickly spread it out. There was nothing within 1,000,000 kilometers. Long Fei's heart was a little dry. The idea moved. Underworld fire. Come out. A flame rose from the center of his palm, and then Long Fei fiercely flew up towards the sky. At the same time, the underworld fire lit up the entire world of darkness. And at the same time, Long Fei's mind suddenly trembled. His body began to tremble uncontrollably. A dragon, an incomparably large dragon. It was a huge dragon, covered in green scales, gleaming with a cold light. A series of chains hung from the colossal dragon's body. At the very end of the chains was a pitch-black and incomparably huge coffin. The azure dragon resided there, his entire body twisted into a vortex with Long Fei at the center. He was now surrounded by a huge body. Moreover, Long Fei was unable to sense any of the green dragon's aura. It wasn't because the green dragon didn't have any aura, but because Long Fei's level was too low. He simply couldn't sense the existence of the green dragon at all. From the very moment Secret World had appeared, he had always been wrapped up by the body of the green dragon. And this world was also the Azure Dragon world. It was shocking. As the underworld fire slowly ascended, Long Fei also slowly looked at the green dragon's whole appearance. His heart was stirred. He was extremely shocked. The black dragon was just an illusory image. It could be considered a spirit body. No matter how big it was or how little flesh it had, the visual impact was not too great. However, the green dragon in this black world was a real dragon. The physical body occupied the entirety of the dark world. That feeling was indescribable. What was even more domineering was the huge coffin pulled by the long chain behind him. Green dragon to pull the coffin. A memory suddenly appeared in Long Fei's mind. It was also in a certain secret world that he saw this scene, but it was only the 9-dragon coffin. In the coffin was a peerless beauty. That beauty, Long Fei could not remember what she looked like. However, the scene was very clear, but the 9-dragon coffin was truly shocked, but those 9 huge dragons were all dead, while the green dragon in front of them was alive. He was moving, unceasingly moving. Not only that, this azure dragon was even larger than the 9 dragons combined. Gudong! Long Fei heavily swallowed his saliva and thought to himself, since it's a green dragon pulling a coffin and a living dragon, then who was that person lying in the coffin? F***CK. With such a large lineup, even the leaders of Universal Realm wouldn't be able to do something like that, right?